The shopping cart sits exactly where Colleen left it. Metal basket still angled toward the fluorescent lights. Pink strap from Tara's overalls draped over the side. A half-open pack of batteries resting in the corner where Colleen tossed them 30 seconds ago. Everything in place. Except Tara. Colleen's hands move to the cart handle. Her fingers wrap around cold metal. She pulls it toward her. Empty. The word doesn't register yet. She turns. Scans the aisle. Boxes of motor oil stacked to her left. Windshield wipers hanging on pegs to her right. The clerk behind the counter still sorting receipts. No small body. No uneven bangs. No 2-year-old anywhere. Colleen's throat tightens. She pushes the cart forward. Wheels squeak against linoleum. She moves faster. Past the oil filters. Past the air fresheners. Down the next aisle. Nothing. Back to the front. The clerk looks up. Did you see? Colleen's voice cracks. Did you see my daughter? She was right here. In the cart. Right here. The clerk blinks. Ma'am, I didn't see. Colleen doesn't wait. She's already moving. Through the automatic doors. Into the parking lot. Cracked asphalt stretches in every direction. Cars parked in crooked lines. A delivery truck idles near the curb. Exhaust fumes mix with the smell of hot pavement. Tara. Her voice cuts through the afternoon air. Tara. A woman loading groceries turns. Stares. Doesn't answer. Colleen runs between the cars. Her purse bounces against her hip. She checks behind a station wagon. Behind a rusted pickup. Behind the delivery truck. Nothing. Just oil stains and scattered gravel. Welcome to Cold Trail Cases. Let us know in the comment where you are watching from and how is your weather over there. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Her knees buckle. Not completely. Just enough that she has to grab the truck's bumper to steady herself. Her palm comes away black with grime. She doesn't notice. Her eyes sweep the plaza again. The discount grocer. The laundromat with its fogged windows. The auto parts store she just left. 3 minutes. Maybe less. She'd been arguing about a return. A stupid alternator that didn't fit. The clerk kept insisting she needed the original receipt. Colleen had turned away from the cart. Turned her back. For 3 minutes. 3 minutes. She runs back inside. The clerk is on the phone now. Speaking fast. Colleen hears fragments. Police, and missing child, and we need someone here now. The store suddenly feels too small. Too bright. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. Colleen's vision narrows. She sees the cart again. Sees the space where Tara should be. Sees the pink strap still hanging over the side. Her daughter's habit of clutching that strap when she felt scared flashes through her mind. Tara would grab it with both hands. Twist the fabric between her fingers. Hold on like it was the only solid thing in a spinning world. She's holding onto something now. Colleen knows it. Wherever she is. Whatever's happening. Tara's small fingers are gripping something. Trying to make sense of why her mother isn't there. Colleen's scream finally comes. It rips through the store. Through the parking lot. Through the ordinary Tuesday afternoon that just became a nightmare with no exit. By the time the first police car arrives, 6 minutes have passed since Colleen turned back to the cart. 6 minutes. 360 seconds. Long enough for a cream-colored van to pull out of the parking lot. Long enough for traffic to swallow it. Long enough for Tara Burke to vanish into a landscape that suddenly holds no safety at all. The officer steps out. Young. Maybe 25. He approaches Colleen with a notepad already in his hand. "Ma'am, I need you to tell me exactly what happened." Colleen tries. Her words come out jumbled. Time sequences collapse. She says, "Cart," 3 times. Says, 3 minutes, twice. Can't remember what Tara was wearing beyond the pink overalls. Can't remember if she was holding anything. Can't remember the last words she said to her daughter. The officer writes. Asks questions. How old? How tall? Any distinguishing marks? Medical conditions. Hair color. Eye color. Brown hair. Uneven bangs. Still had soft curls in the back Colleen hadn't wanted to cut yet. Hazel eyes that looked green in certain light. A small birthmark on her left shoulder. 28 inches tall. Maybe 29. 22 pounds at her last checkup. The details sound wrong. Too clinical. Like describing a missing object instead of a living child who still mispronounced her own name. More officers arrive. They spread out. Check the dumpsters behind the plaza. Question the laundromat workers. Pull security footage from the grocer. The auto parts store doesn't have cameras. Budget cuts. The owner keeps apologizing. Keeps saying he'd been meaning to install them. Colleen stands in the parking lot. Frozen. She watches strangers search for her daughter. Watches the sun drop lower. Watches shadows stretch across the asphalt. An older officer approaches. Detective. Plain clothes. His face carries the weight of too many cases like this. Mrs. Burke, we're doing everything we can. I need you to think carefully. Did you notice anyone watching your daughter? Anyone paying too much attention? Colleen shakes her head. Then stops. There was someone. Maybe. A man near the windshield wipers. She'd noticed him because he stood too close to the display. Pretended to read a package but his eyes kept drifting. What did he look like? I didn't really see. Average height. Maybe brown hair. Or dark blonde. He wore a jacket. Blue? Gray? I wasn't paying attention. The detective writes. His pen moves slowly. Deliberately. Like he's used to witnesses who can't remember. Can't describe. Can't provide the one detail that would crack everything open. Behind them, an officer emerges from the grocer. He's holding a VHS tape. Security footage. They gather around a small TV in the store's back office. The manager fumbles with the player. The screen flickers. Black and white images. Grainy. Time stamp in the corner. The parking lot. Several angles stitched together. They watch cars pull in. Pull out. A woman walks past with a stroller. 2 teenagers lean against a Honda. Then there. The cart. Colleen standing beside it. Tara visible for 3 seconds before the angle switches. When it switches back, the cart is empty. 18 seconds of gap. 18 seconds where the cameras couldn't see. They rewind. Watch again. And again. Searching for movement in the blind spot. For a shadow. For anything. Nothing. Colleen's hands grip the edge of the desk. Her knuckles turn white. She forces herself to watch. Forces herself to see that moment. The before and after. The line dividing her life into 2 pieces that will never fit back together. The detective ejects the tape. We'll need to analyze this. Frame by frame. Someone took her in that 18-second window. They knew the camera angles. They waited. The words land like stones. Someone took her. Not wandered off. Not hiding somewhere nearby. Took. Colleen's legs give out. An officer catches her. Guides her to a chair. Someone brings water. She doesn't drink it. Can't. Her throat has closed completely. The plaza transforms. Yellow tape goes up. More officers arrive. K-9 units. Dogs bark and pull at leashes. They circle the parking lot. Pick up a scent by the truck. Follow it to the edge of the property. Then lose it where the asphalt meets the road. Gone. A female officer crouches beside Colleen. Is there someone we can call? Your husband? Family? Evan. Colleen nods. Gives the number. Her voice sounds distant. Like it belongs to someone else. The officer makes the call. Colleen hears fragments. Your wife and need you here and as soon as possible. The sun finally sets. Parking lot lights flicker on. Harsh and yellow. They cast long shadows. Make everything look staged. Unreal. Colleen stands. Walks back to her car. The officer follows. Ma'am, we'd prefer if you stayed. I need to get her bare. Colleen's voice is flat. She can't sleep without it. When you find her, she'll need it. The officer doesn't argue. Colleen opens the back door. Tara's car seat sits empty. A small stuffed bear wedged in the corner. Worn fur. Missing eye. Tara has slept with it every night since she was 6 months old. Colleen pulls it out. Holds it against her chest. The fabric smells like baby shampoo and something else. Something uniquely Tara. She closes her eyes. Tries to remember the last thing Tara said before they got out of the car. Some half-word. Juice, maybe. Or shoes. Colleen had been distracted. Thinking about the alternator. About getting the return done quickly. About a dozen ordinary things that don't matter anymore. When she opens her eyes, Evan's truck is pulling into the parking lot. He parks crooked. Gets out. Sees Colleen. Sees the police. Sees everything he needs to know in the way she's holding that bear. He runs toward her. Where is she? Colleen, where's Tara? Colleen can't answer. Can't make the words come out. Because saying it makes it real. Makes it permanent. Makes it the moment their lives split into before and after. The detective intercepts Evan. Speaks quietly. Evan's face changes. Hardens. Then crumbles. He pushes past the detective. Reaches Colleen. Pulls her against him. What happened? What the hell happened? She tells him. Tries to. The words come out broken. Cart. 3 minutes. Gone. Evan pulls back. His hands grip her shoulders. You left her alone? In the cart? You. The detective steps in. Mr. Burke, this isn't helping. We need you both to. She left her alone. Evan's voice rises. Our daughter. In a parking lot. Alone. Colleen flinches. The words hit harder than any physical blow could. Because they're true. She did. She turned away. Made a choice. 3 minutes. That's all it took. An officer guides Evan away. Speaks in low tones. Colleen watches them. Watches her husband's shoulders shake. Watches him age 10 years in 10 seconds. The night stretches. Officers come and go. Ask the same questions in different ways. Colleen answers on autopilot. Yes. No. I don't know. I didn't see. A command center forms. The detective coordinates. Map spread across the hood of a patrol car. Radius searches. Traffic stops. Alert sent to surrounding counties. Someone mentions Amber Alert. The detective shakes his head. We don't have enough. No vehicle description. No plate. No solid suspect. We have a child missing. Evan's voice carries across the parking lot. That's not enough. The criteria require. Criteria? Evan lunges forward. Two officers hold him back. My daughter is gone and you're talking about criteria? The detective's face doesn't change. Mr. Burke, I understand you're upset. But we follow protocol. It saves lives. Protocol. The word feels obscene. Like applying rules to something that exists beyond structure. Beyond order. Midnight comes. The plaza empties. Most officers leave. Only a few remain. The detective. A forensics team processing the scene. Two patrol cars parked near the entrance. Colleen and Evan sit in his truck. Windows up. Engine off. Not speaking. The bear sits between them. Small. Worn. A witness to every bedtime for 2 years. Now holding space for a child who should be here. Who should be asleep. Who should be safe. Evan finally speaks. His voice rough. I should have been there. Don't. I should have taken the day off. Come with you. I shouldn't have. Don't. Colleen's voice breaks. Please don't. They sit in silence. Minutes pass. Hours maybe. Time stops meaning anything. A tap on the window. The detective. Evan rolls it down. We're expanding the search at first light. Bringing in more units. Helicopters. We'll find her. The words sound hollow. Rehearsed. Like he's said them before. To other parents. In other parking lots. After he walks away, Evan starts the engine. We should go home. In case. He doesn't finish. In case what? In case Tara somehow finds her way back. In case whoever took her has a change of heart. In case miracles happen on ordinary Tuesdays. They drive. The plaza disappears in the rearview mirror. Colleen watches it shrink. That parking lot. That store. That cart that's probably been wheeled back inside by now. Put away. Ready for the next customer tomorrow. Life continuing. The world spinning. As if nothing happened. Their street looks wrong. Too normal. Porch lights glowing. Cars in driveways. Toys scattered on lawns. Evidence of children who made it home safe. Inside, the house is exactly how they left it. Tara's breakfast bowl still in the sink. Her shoes by the door. Her toys spread across the living room floor. Colleen sets the bear on the couch. Sits beside it. Stares at the wall. Evan paces. Phone pressed to his ear. Calling his mother. His brother. Trying to explain something that has no explanation. The night refuses to end. 3 a.m. 4 a.m. 5 a.m. Colleen doesn't sleep. Can't. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees that cart. Sees the empty space. Sees those 18 seconds stretching into eternity. Dawn breaks. Gray light filters through the windows. The phone rings. Evan answers. Listens. His face goes rigid. He hangs up. They found something. A witness. Someone saw a van. Finally. Something. Colleen stands. What else? What did they see? Cream-colored. Parked near the delivery truck. The witness remembered because it sat there for 20 minutes. Didn't belong to any of the businesses. Did they get a plate? Evan shakes his head. No plate. Just the van. Anne. What? A man. Standing near your cart. The witness saw him. Says he was watching. Says he looked wrong. Hope flickers. Small. Fragile. But there. For the first time since Colleen turned back to that empty cart, they have something. A cream-colored van. A man who looked wrong. And somewhere, hidden in a landscape that just became infinite, a 2-year-old girl who still doesn't know why her mother isn't coming. What happens when a stranger's patience becomes a predator's greatest weapon, and how long before someone notices the pattern everyone else ignores? The witness sits in an interview room that smells like burnt coffee and industrial cleaner. His name is Marcus. 63. Retired postal worker. He'd been sitting in his car eating a sandwich when he noticed the van. Tell me again what you saw. The detective leans forward. Notebook open. Pen ready. Marcus shifts. His hands rest on the table. Fingers interlocked. The van pulled in around 1:30. Maybe 1:40. I noticed because it parked crooked. Took up 2 spaces near that delivery truck. Color? Cream. Off-white. Hard to say exactly. It was dirty. Road dust. Maybe older. 80s model. No windows on the sides. Just the front. Make? Model? Chevy. I think. Or Ford. One of those conversion vans. Used to see them everywhere. The detective writes. License plate? Marcus shakes his head. Too far. I wasn't really paying attention. Just eating my sandwich. What made you remember it? How long it sat there? Driver never got out. Just idled. Then after a while, it pulled forward. Closer to the store entrance. You see the driver? Not clearly. Tinted windshield. But when the van moved, I saw someone. Male. That's all I got. Height? Build? Hair color? Average? I don't know. It was just a glimpse. The detective's pen stops moving. Average. The word that describes everyone and no one. The word that makes finding someone nearly impossible. What about the man near the cart? You told the officer you saw someone standing close to where the girl was taken. Marcus nods. Different guy. I think. Inside the store. I went in to use the bathroom. Saw him by the windshield wipers. Just standing there. Not shopping. Just standing. Describe him. White. Maybe 40. Brown hair. Or dark blonde. Regular height. Wore a blue jacket. Or gray. I'm not sure now. The detective doesn't let his frustration show. What made him stand out? The way he was looking. Not at the products. At people. At the woman with the cart. Your missing girl's mother. You're certain he was watching her? Marcus hesitates. I mean, he was in that area. And she was right there. He could have been looking at anything. But yeah. It felt like he was watching. Did you see him leave? No. I used the bathroom and left. Didn't think anything of it until I heard about the missing kid on the news. The detective thanks him. Takes a contact number. Watches Marcus leave. Then he sits alone in that interview room staring at his notes. Cream-colored van. No plate. Driver unseen. Man in blue or gray jacket. Brown or dark blonde hair. Average height. Average build. Watching or maybe not watching. Description that could match 10,000 men in Northern California. Across town, a second witness sits in her living room. The detective sent an officer to take her statement at home. She's 81. Didn't want to drive downtown. Her name is Dorothy. She'd been leaving the laundromat when she noticed something odd. There was a man, she tells the officer. Just standing outside. Near the auto parts store. Smoking. Can you describe him? Young. Maybe 30. Tall. Dark hair. Wore a baseball cap. The officer writes. Compares his notes to Marcus's description. Nothing matches. What made you notice him? He wasn't doing anything. Just standing there. Smoking. Watching the door. Which door? The auto parts store. Where that poor woman's child went missing. Did you see him approach anyone? Talk to anyone? No. He just stood there. Then he walked away. Toward the parking lot. Did you see what he was driving? I don't drive anymore, dear. I don't pay attention to cars. The officer thanks her. Closes his notebook. Radios the detective. We've got conflicting descriptions. Marcus says blue jacket, brown hair, average height. Dorothy says baseball cap, dark hair, tall. Different guys or same guy different moments? Could be either. The detective's voice crackles through the radio. Or neither. People see what they think they see. Memory fills gaps. By noon, 3 more witnesses come forward. Each with their own version. A teenager saw a man in the parking lot. White. Maybe 50. Bald. Walked with a limp. A store clerk remembers someone asking about antifreeze. Hispanic. 35. Short. Spoke with an accent. A mother with 2 kids saw someone watching from across the street. Black. 20s. Athletic build. Stood by a phone booth. The descriptions pile up. The detective spreads them across his desk. Tries to find patterns. Tries to see which pieces fit. They don't. 5 different men. 5 different descriptions. All in the same location. Same time frame. All watching or standing or smoking or asking questions. Any of them could be nothing. Any of them could be everything. The detective reaches for his coffee. Cold now. He drinks it anyway. Stares at the reports. At the gaps between what people saw and what they remember seeing. Memory is a liar. He knows this. Spent 20 years learning it. Witnesses see a man and their brain fills details. Height adjusts. Hair color shifts. Clothing changes. The mind creates certainty where none exists. But somewhere in these conflicting accounts, truth hides. A real person. A real predator. Someone who planned this. Who waited. Who knew the camera angles. Who understood the 18-second gap. His phone rings. The lab. They analyzed the security footage. Frame by frame. Enhanced what they could. We found something, the tech says. In the background. Edge of frame. A vehicle pulling out. The van? Can't tell. Image is too degraded. But it's there. Time-stamp matches. Right when the girl disappeared. Can you get a plate? Negative. Wrong angle. But we're working on vehicle type. Should have something in a few hours. The detective hangs up. Pulls the footage report. Studies the grainy stills. The vehicle is barely visible. Just a corner. A shadow. But it's movement. Direction. Something. He calls the patrol units. Expand the search radius. Look for cream-colored vans. Older models. Conversion style. Stop and question. I don't care if we pull over 100. Find that van. Units respond. Roadblocks go up. Traffic stops increase. Every cream-colored van becomes suspect. A florist driving deliveries gets pulled over. Vehicle searched. Driver questioned. Let go. A contractor heading to a job site. Pulled over. Searched. Questioned. Let go. A church youth group traveling to a retreat. Pulled over. Searched. Questioned. Let go. None match. None fit. None carry a 2-year-old girl hidden in the back. Evening comes. The detective sits in his office. Report stacked. Photos pinned to a board. Tara's face in the center. Copied from her last birthday photo. She's smiling. Frosting on her nose. Unaware that in 4 months her face will be everywhere. On telephone poles. On milk cartons. On the news every night. A knock. An officer enters. Got something. Witness number 6. Says he saw the van again. Yesterday. Different location. Where? Rest stop. 30 miles south. Says he noticed because it was parked in the back. Away from other vehicles. Same description. Cream-colored. No side windows. Did he get a plate? No. But he remembers it left heading south on Highway 5. South. Toward the valley. Toward 100 small towns. Toward anywhere. The detective updates the alert. Expands the search. More units. More stops. More hope that somewhere in the next 100 miles, someone will see something real. Colleen sits at her kitchen table. Hasn't moved in hours. Coffee gone cold in front of her. Phone next to her hand. Waiting for it to ring. Waiting for someone to call and say they found her. That Tara's safe. That this nightmare has an ending. It doesn't ring. Evan stands by the window. Watching the street. Watching neighbors walk past. Watching life continue outside while theirs stops cold. They're not going to find her. His voice is quiet. Defeated. Don't say that. It's been 24 hours. The longer. Don't. Colleen's voice sharpens. Don't you dare finish that sentence. He turns. Looks at her. Really looks. At the shadows under her eyes. At the way she's holding herself together with nothing but will. I'm sorry, he says. I can't stop thinking. Then stop. Stop thinking. Because thinking doesn't help. Doesn't bring her back. The phone rings. They both lunge for it. Colleen gets there first. Hello? Mrs. Burke, this is Detective Morrison. We have an update. Her heart stops. Starts. Races. You found her? No. But we have a lead. Multiple witnesses placed a cream-colored van in the area. One saw it heading south. We're expanding the search. I need you to think. Has anyone been watching your house? Following you? Anyone seem too interested in Tara? Colleen's mind spins. Tries to remember. Tries to see past the ordinary moments. No. I don't think so. We keep to ourselves. Work. Home. Grocery store. What about at parks? Playgrounds? Anyone ever approach Tara? Talk to her? No. We're careful. We watch her. The detective's silence says what he won't. You watched her. Except when you didn't. If you think of anything, he says. Anyone. Any detail. Call immediately. He hangs up. Colleen sets the phone down. Looks at Evan. They think someone was watching us. Planning this. Who? Who would? I don't know. Her voice breaks. I don't know. The next morning brings reporters. They camp outside. Vans with satellite dishes. Cameras with telephoto lenses. Reporters practicing their stand-ups on the front lawn. An officer escorts Colleen and Evan to a press conference. They sit behind a table. Microphones everywhere. Cameras pointed. Lights too bright. The detective reads a statement. Describes Tara. Describes the van. Asks for public help. Then he steps aside. Lets Colleen speak. She unfolds a paper. Prepared statement. Words she practiced. But when she opens her mouth, they vanish. Instead, she says what she feels. Someone took my daughter. Took her from a shopping cart while I was 10 feet away. Took her and drove away, and now I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's scared. I don't know if she's hurt. I don't know if she's... Her voice breaks. She can't finish. Can't say the word. Can't make it real. Evan takes her hand. Squeezes. Takes over. If you have our daughter, please. Please bring her back. We won't press charges. We won't ask questions. Just bring her home. She's 2 years old. She needs her mother. She needs... He stops. Can't continue. Can't hold it together anymore. The detective steps in. Ends the conference. Officers escort them out. Away from the cameras. Away from the questions shouted at their backs. In the car, Colleen finally cries. Not the quiet tears from before. Real sobs. Body shaking. Breaking apart. Because 24 hours became 36. 36 became 48. And with each passing hour, hope becomes something harder to hold. The detective returns to his office. More reports. More witnesses. More descriptions that don't match. But buried in the stack, one stands out. An officer interviewed a store owner 3 blocks from the plaza. He remembers a man coming in that afternoon. Bought rope. Duct tape. Zip ties. What did he look like? The detective asks when he calls. 40s. White. Dark hair. Wore sunglasses inside. Paid cash. You remember what he drove? Van. Cream-colored. Parked right out front. The detective's pulse quickens. Did you see a plate? Partial. Started with 3J something. That's all I got. Finally. Something concrete. Something real. The detective puts out an updated alert. Cream-colored van. Partial plate 3J. Last seen heading south. Units respond. DMV searches. Records pulled. Every van registration in California with plates starting 3J gets flagged. 73 matches. Officers start knocking on doors. Checking vehicles. Questioning owners. One by one, they're cleared. Until number 47. The address leads to a storage facility. The van is registered to a Calvin Rourke. But when officers arrive, the unit is locked. No one answers. They get a warrant. Cut the lock. Open the door. The van sits inside. Cream-colored. No side windows. Interior stripped clean. Too clean. Forensics arrives. They process it. Search for hair. Fiber. Blood. Anything. They find cleaning supplies. Bleach. Industrial solvent. Evidence of recent scrubbing. But no Tara. No sign she was ever there. The detective stands outside the storage unit. Watches the sun set. Knows what this means. They found the van. Found the owner. Found evidence of guilt. But finding the girl? That just became a lot harder. Inside the facility's office, they pull records. Calvin Rourke. Rented the unit 6 months ago. Paid cash. Gave a P.O. box for contact. Where does he live? The detective asks. The manager shrugs. Don't know. Don't ask. Long as they pay, I don't care. You see him recently? 2 days ago. Came in late. Left early. What was he driving? Didn't see. He parked around back. The detective's jaw tightens. We need everything. Security footage. Payment records. Any documentation you have. The manager provides what he can. Not much. Just enough to prove Rourke exists. Not enough to find him. A name without a face. A van without a driver. A crime without a location. The detective updates Colleen and Evan. Tells them about the van. About Rourke. About the search expanding. He doesn't tell them about the cleaning supplies. About what that implies. About the clock that's ticking faster now. That night, Colleen can't sleep again. She walks through Tara's room. Touches her things. Her clothes. Her toys. Her crib. She sits on the floor. Holds that worn bear. Whispers to it like Tara might hear. Wherever you are, baby. Hold on. Just hold on. We're looking. We're not stopping. We're going to find you. The words feel like lies. Like hope dressed up as certainty. But she says them anyway. Because what else can she do? Outside, patrol cars cruise the streets. Officers search. Families lock their doors earlier. Parents hold their children tighter. And somewhere, in a location no one has found yet, a 2-year-old girl exists in a space between found and lost. Between alive and the alternative no one wants to name. The detective sits at his desk. Studies Rourke's name. Runs it through databases. Looks for priors. Connections. Anything. What he finds makes his blood run cold. How many times can a predator hide in plain sight before someone sees the pattern everyone else explains away? The first night without Tara, the house didn't sleep. Colleen sat on the living room floor. Back against the couch. Knees pulled to her chest. Every sound made her head snap up. Every car passing outside. Every creak of the house settling. Each one carried the possibility that this was it. This was the moment the door would open and Tara would be back. None of them were. Evan paced. Kitchen to living room. Living room to hallway. Hallway back to kitchen. He'd pick up the phone. Set it down. Pick it up again. Like movement could somehow speed up time. Could force the call that would change everything. Around 3 a.m., Colleen's mother arrived. Let herself in with a spare key. Found them both still awake. Still waiting. You need to sleep, she said. Soft. Gentle. The way you talk to someone barely holding together. I can't. Colleen's voice was raw. What if they call? What if she comes back and I'm not? I'll stay up. I'll wait. You need rest. I need my daughter. The words hung there. Ugly. True. Unanswerable. Her mother sat down beside her. Didn't speak. Didn't offer platitudes. Just sat. Present. Because sometimes presence is all there is. Dawn came slow. Gray light filtering through windows. The neighborhood waking up. People leaving for work. Kids waiting for school buses. Normal life continuing like the world hadn't just fractured. Colleen watched through the window. Saw a mother walk her son to the bus stop. Saw her ruffle his hair. Saw him laugh. Saw them separate easily. Casually. Like tomorrow was guaranteed. The doorbell rang. Evan answered. Detective Morrison stood on the porch. His face said everything before he spoke. We found the van. Colleen was on her feet. Where's Tara? Is she? We didn't find her. Just the van. It was wiped clean. We're processing it now. The hope that had surged died fast. Clean. Wiped. The words meant something deliberate. Something planned. Who owns it? Evan asked. Calvin Rourke. Name mean anything to you? They both shook their heads. He have her? Colleen's voice came out wrong. Too high. Too desperate. We don't know. We're looking for him now. I came to ask if you're sure you don't know the name. Never heard it? Never had any interaction with someone named Calvin? No. Never. Who is he? The detective's expression shifted. Something darker underneath. Someone we've been watching. Not officially. But his name has come up before. Come up how? Evan stepped closer. What does that mean? It means he's been questioned. In relation to incidents involving children. But nothing stuck. No charges. No evidence. Colleen's legs went weak. She grabbed the doorframe. You knew about him? You knew and you. We had suspicions. Not proof. There's a difference. A difference? Her voice rose. My daughter is missing and you're telling me you knew about this man? That he'd been questioned before? Mrs. Burke, I understand you're upset. Upset? You think I'm upset? She laughed. Sharp. Bitter. My child is gone. Taken by someone you've been watching. And you want me to understand? The detective's face remained steady. Professional. He'd done this before. Faced angry parents. Heard accusations. Carried guilt that wasn't entirely his but felt like it anyway. We're doing everything we can, he said. Every officer. Every resource. We will find her. When? How long until? She couldn't finish. Couldn't ask the question underneath. How long until finding her means something different? After the detective left, Colleen turned on Evan. You hear that? They knew. They've been watching him and they did nothing. They didn't have evidence. Evidence? What about instinct? What about protecting children instead of waiting for proof? That's not how it works. Then how it works is broken. Her voice echoed through the house. Through rooms that felt too empty. Too quiet. Through spaces that should contain a toddler's laughter. Should contain footsteps. Should contain life. Evan didn't argue. Just pulled her close. Let her break against him. Outside, the media presence grew. More vans. More cameras. Reporters doing live shots from their front lawn. Turning their tragedy into content. Into ratings. Into something consumable for people eating breakfast 3 states away. An officer stood guard. Kept them back. But their voices carried. Practicing the same lines over and over. Behind me, the home where Tara Burke lived. The 2-year-old vanished 2 days ago. Police have identified a suspect. But tonight, her parents wait. Hoping. Praying. That their daughter comes home. Colleen heard it through the window. Hated how clean it sounded. How simple. Like their nightmare could be reduced to 30 seconds between commercials. By afternoon, the phone started ringing. Not the call they wanted. Other calls. Reporters requesting interviews. Producers wanting exclusives. Talk shows offering platforms. Evan unplugged it. But it didn't matter. They showed up anyway. Knocked on the door. Slipped business cards through the mail slot. Tell your story. Give Tara a voice. Help us help you. Each card felt like a vulture circling. Waiting for the moment pain became entertainment. Evening brought another press conference. The detective wanted them there. Wanted Colleen to speak again. To keep Tara's face in the public eye. They sat at the same table. Same microphones. Same lights too bright. This time, Colleen read from her prepared statement. Got through 3 sentences before the cameras became too much. Before the weight of all those eyes watching. All those people seeing her break. She stood. Walked out. Evan followed. In the car, she finally asked the question she'd been holding back. Do you think she's alive? Evan didn't answer right away. His hands gripped the steering wheel. Knuckles white. I have to believe she is. Because the alternative is what we're both thinking. Colleen's voice was flat. We're both thinking it. Even if we won't say it. Don't. 2 days, Evan. 48 hours. You know what the statistics say. You know what happens after. I don't care about statistics. His voice cracked. Years of holding it together. Of being strong. Of pretending certainty. All of it breaking at once. I don't care what numbers say or what probability suggests. She's alive. She has to be alive. Because I can't do this if she's not. Colleen reached for his hand. Held it. They sat in silence while the world moved around them. That night, sleep still wouldn't come. Colleen lay in bed. Stared at the ceiling. Counted the hours. 48 became 50. 50 became 55. Each hour taking Tara further away. Further into whatever darkness held her. She got up. Went to Tara's room. Sat in the rocking chair by the crib. The one she used for late-night feedings. For soothing nightmares. For singing lullabies until small eyes closed. She started humming. The same song. The one Tara loved. The one that always worked. Her voice filled the empty room. Soft. Breaking. But continuous. Because maybe somehow. Somewhere. Tara could hear it. Across town, the detective worked through his own sleepless night. Calvin Rourke's file spread across his desk. Sparse. Too sparse. Questioned 3 times. Different incidents. Different cities. Always involving children. Always near playgrounds. Schools. Public places where kids gathered. Each time, he'd been cooperative. Answered questions. Provided alibis that checked out. Nothing provable. Nothing chargeable. But the pattern was there. Hovering beneath the surface. A predator learning. Adapting. Getting better at not getting caught. The detective pulled Rourke's last known address. An apartment. Month-to-month lease. The landlord reported he moved out 6 weeks ago. No forwarding address. No explanation. Disappeared right before Tara vanished. The detective made calls. Tracked employment records. Rourke worked temporary jobs. Construction. Warehouses. Never anywhere long enough to matter. Cash when possible. Minimal paper trail. A ghost. Deliberately constructed. By morning, they had a location. A tip. Someone saw a man matching Rourke's description at a motel. 2 counties over. Paid cash for a week. Kept to himself. Units moved in. Surrounded the room. Knocked. No answer. They breached. Found it empty. Cleaned out. Whoever stayed there left nothing behind. No clothes. No trash. No evidence. Just bleach smell and wiped surfaces. The manager provided a description. Matched Rourke. But the name he gave was different. Paid cash. No ID required. Another dead end. The detective called Colleen. Updated her. Tried to frame it as progress. As movement. But she heard what he wasn't saying. That Rourke was smart. Careful. That finding him meant chasing shadows. That night, the third night, broke something in Evan. He started drinking. Not social drinking. Not a beer to take the edge off. Real drinking. The kind meant to erase. Colleen found him in the garage. Surrounded by empty bottles. Tara's bike leaning against the wall behind him. The one they'd bought for her next birthday. Training wheels already attached. She'll never ride it, he said. Slurred. Broken. We bought it and she'll never. Stop. Colleen knelt beside him. Don't do this. Do what? Face reality? Accept that our daughter is gone and we're just waiting for someone to find her body? The words hit like fists. Colleen recoiled. You don't mean that. I mean all of it. I mean I should have been there. I mean I should have protected her. I mean this is my fault. It's not. It is. He stood. Unsteady. Angry. I should have been there instead of working. Instead of chasing overtime. Instead of. He couldn't finish. Just collapsed. Back against the wall. Sliding down. Breaking completely. Colleen sat beside him. Held him while he cried. While 3 days of holding it together finally gave way. They sat there until dawn. On the cold garage floor. Surrounded by tools and storage boxes and a bike that might never get ridden. The 4th day brought a shift. News coverage decreased. Other stories took priority. Tara's face moved from front page to section B. From lead story to brief mention. The world was moving on. Already forgetting. Already filing this away as another tragedy. Another missing child. Another family destroyed. But for Colleen and Evan, time had stopped. Would stay stopped. Until Tara came home. Or until they learned she never would. The detective worked the case. Followed leads. Tracked Rourke. But each trail ended nowhere. Storage facility owners didn't know him. Former employers had no forwarding information. DMV records led to dead addresses. Calvin Rourke existed. But only as a ghost. A name without a face. A suspect without a location. And somewhere, hidden in a landscape that suddenly seemed infinite, a 2-year-old girl lived or didn't live. Breathed or didn't breathe. Waited or had stopped waiting. The detective stared at Rourke's photo. Pulled from an old employee ID. Average face. Forgettable features. The kind of man who could stand next to you and never register. Perfect camouflage for a predator. He made a decision. Called a press conference. Released Rourke's photo. Named him publicly as a suspect. The image flooded television screens. Appeared on every news site. Stared out from newspapers across California. A face the public could recognize. Could report. Could help find. Within hours, tips poured in. Hundreds. Thousands. Each one requiring follow-up. Verification. Investigation. Most led nowhere. Mistaken identity. Wrong person. Similar features but different man. But one call stood out. A woman in a small town 3 hours south. She'd seen a man matching the photo. At a storage facility. Acting suspicious. Officers responded. Searched the area. Found nothing. But the facility manager remembered him. Remembered he'd been asking about units. About ones with no windows. No foot traffic nearby. The detective felt it. That shift. That sense when a case starts breaking. They were close. Not there yet. But close. He called Colleen. Told her. Tried to frame it as hope. She listened. Thanked him. Hung up. Then she returned to Tara's room. To that rocking chair. To humming that lullaby. Because hope required action. Required belief. Required singing into the darkness and trusting somehow the sound would reach. 4 days became 5. 5 became 6. 6 became a week. And still, the only question that mattered remained unanswered. Where is Tara Burke? When the patterns finally form a face, will it be the one everyone's been hunting, or the one hiding just outside the frame? The volunteer coordinator at Pleasant Valley Community Center remembers Calvin Rourke clearly. He started coming in about 8 months ago, she says. Sitting across from Detective Morrison. Hands folded on the desk. Wanted to help with the after-school program. Said he loved working with kids. Did you run a background check? She hesitates. We're supposed to. But we're understaffed. Volunteers are hard to find. He seemed nice. Polite. Always on time. How often did he come? Twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays. 3 to 6 p.m. Helped with homework. Played games. The kids liked him. The detective's jaw tightens. Did he ever single anyone out? Pay extra attention to any particular child? Not that I noticed. He rotated. Spent time with everyone. She pauses. Why? What did he do? Morrison slides Tara's photo across the desk. This girl went missing 6 days ago. We believe Calvin Rourke took her. The coordinator's face drains. Her hand flies to her mouth. Oh my God. He was here. Around children. We let him. I need a list. Every child he had contact with. Every parent. Every staff member who worked with him. She nods. Hands shaking as she reaches for her files. Across town, another detective interviews Rourke's former landlord. Small apartment complex. Run down. Paint peeling. The kind of place that doesn't ask questions as long as rent arrives on time. He was quiet, the landlord says. Lighting a cigarette. Kept to himself. Paid cash. Never caused problems. When did he leave? 6 weeks ago. Said he found work in another city. Gave 30 days notice. Left the place clean. You keep in touch? No forwarding address. No phone number. Just gone. Did he have visitors? Friends? Anyone coming by? Never saw anyone. He'd leave early. Come back late. Sometimes wouldn't see him for days. What about his unit? Anything unusual? The landlord shrugs. Cleaned it out completely. Took everything. Even patched the nail holes in the walls. Most tenants leave trash. He left nothing. The detective thanks him. Walks to Rourke's former apartment. Number 12. Second floor. Corner unit. New tenants moved in 3 weeks ago. Young couple. They let him inside. The space is generic now. Their furniture. Their belongings. Their life layered over whatever existed before. But the detective sees past it. Imagines Rourke here. Living. Planning. Watching the parking lot through that window. Studying patterns. Learning routines. The people before you, the detective asks. They leave anything? Anything at all? The woman shakes her head. Completely empty. We had to buy everything new. He leaves. Sits in his car. Stares at the building. Tries to understand the mind that lived here. That chose this place. That moved through the world leaving no trace. Back at the station, reports pile up. Background on Calvin Rourke. Fragmented. Incomplete. But revealing. Born in Oregon. Mother died when he was 7. Father remarried. Stepmother had 3 daughters. Rourke was removed from the home at 14. Allegations of inappropriate behavior toward the stepsisters. Never charged. Placed in foster care. Aged out at 18. Drifted. Construction jobs. Warehouse work. Temp agencies. Never staying anywhere longer than 6 months. First police contact at 23. Loitering near an elementary school. Claimed he was waiting for a friend. Friend never materialized. Released with a warning. Second contact at 27. Found in a public library. Sitting too close to children in the reading section. Librarian called it in. Rourke left before police arrived. Third contact at 31. Volunteering at a youth sports league. Parent complained he was overly friendly. Taking photos. Asking personal questions. League director confronted him. He stopped showing up. No charges. No arrests. Just patterns. Behaviors that lived in gray areas. That made people uncomfortable but not enough to act. Until now. Morrison reads through it all. Feels the weight of missed opportunities. Of systems that require proof before protection. Of waiting for evidence that comes too late. He calls the Pleasant Valley coordinator back. I need security footage. From the center. Any cameras inside or out? We don't have cameras. Budget cuts. Been trying to get them installed for 2 years. Nothing? No surveillance at all? Nothing. Another dead end. Another gap where evidence should be. The detective pulls a map. Pins locations. Rourke's apartment. The community center. The auto parts store where Tara vanished. The storage facility with the van. They form a loose circle. 20-mile radius. All connected by Highway 5. All accessible. All chosen. He adds more pins. The rest stop where the van was spotted. The motel where Rourke stayed. The storage facility 3 hours south. The circle expands. Becomes a corridor. North to south. Following the highway. Following escape routes. Rourke knew the area. Studied it. Planned movements along roads that offered options. That provided distance. That made pursuit difficult. Morrison's phone rings. The lab. They finished processing the van. We found hair, the tech says. 3 strands. Caught in the carpet backing. Looks like they survived the cleaning. Can you match them? Running DNA now. Should have results in 48 hours. I need it faster. Doing the best we can. Morrison hangs up. 48 hours. 2 more days. 2 more days of Colleen and Evan waiting. 2 more days of Tara held somewhere. 2 more days of not knowing. He briefs his team. Shows them the background. The patterns. The locations. This isn't opportunistic, he says. Rourke plans. Watches. Waits. He chose Tara specifically. Studied Colleen's routine. Knew when she'd be vulnerable. How do we find him? An officer asks. We think like him. Where would he go? Where would he take her? They study maps. Rental properties. Vacant buildings. Storage facilities. Anywhere offering isolation. Privacy. Control. The list is enormous. Hundreds of possibilities. Each requiring investigation. Verification. Time they don't have. Morrison divides assignments. Teams sent to different locations. Knocking on doors. Checking records. Following threads that might lead nowhere. Evening comes. News reports feature Rourke's face again. Tips flood in. Sightings from across the state. Each one requiring response. A man in Sacramento looks similar. Officers investigate. Wrong person. A woman in Fresno swears she saw him at a gas station. Units respond. Different man. Different van. A store clerk in Bakersfield remembers someone matching the description buying supplies. Detective follows up. Timeline doesn't match. The public wants to help. Wants to be part of solving this. But their certainty outpaces accuracy. Their need to contribute creates noise that buries signal. Morrison works through the night. Sifting through reports. Separating possible from impossible. Likely from desperate. Around midnight, something catches his attention. A tip from a fire marshal. Not about Rourke. About a storage facility. Irregular modifications. Soundproofing. Extra insulation. Locked interior doors. The facility is 200 miles south. Small town. Off Highway 5. Morrison makes calls. Wakes up local police. Requests they check it out. Tonight. Now. It's probably nothing, the local chief says. Annoyed at being disturbed. Check it anyway. If there's any resistance. Any hesitation. You call me immediately. He hangs up. Stares at the map. At that new pin 200 miles away. Tries not to hope. Hope has burned him before. Led to empty rooms and dead ends and families whose questions never get answered. But this feels different. Feels like the thread that might actually lead somewhere. He calls Colleen. Knows she won't be sleeping. Knows she's waiting by the phone. Mrs. Burke, we have a possible location. I don't want to get your hopes up, but... Where? Her voice is immediate. Alert. Desperate. South. Near the valley. Local police are checking it now. I'll call you the moment I know anything. I want to be there. If it's her. If you find her. I need to be there. It's 200 miles. And we don't know yet if. I don't care. Tell me where. Morrison gives her the address. Knows he shouldn't. Knows protocol says keep the family away. But he also knows nothing will stop her. Better to know where she's going than have her searching blind. After he hangs up, he sits in silence. Office empty. Building quiet. Just him and the evidence and the weight of knowing he might be wrong. Might be sending Colleen toward another disappointment. Another dead end. Another moment where hope dies a little more. But he might also be sending her toward her daughter. And that possibility, however small, makes the risk worth taking. His phone rings. The local chief. Voice different now. Urgent. We found something. The facility. There's a man here. Matches your description. He's being defensive. Real defensive. Morrison is on his feet. Don't let him leave. I'm on my way. We need a warrant to search the interior. Get it. Whatever it takes. I'll be there in 3 hours. He grabs his jacket. His keys. Runs for his car. 200 miles. 3 hours. One chance. The highway stretches ahead. Empty. Dark. Morrison pushes the speedometer higher. 70. 80. 90. Radio traffic crackles. Updates from the scene. The local officers have Rourke outside. He's demanding to see paperwork. Threatening to call a lawyer. Stalling. Don't give him room, Morrison says into the radio. Keep him talking. Keep him occupied. Copy that. The miles blur past. Towns appearing and disappearing. Gas stations. Motels. The landscape of transient life. Of people passing through. Of anonymity that Rourke used as a weapon. Morrison's mind races. Plays out scenarios. Best case. Worst case. Everything between. If Tara's there. If she's alive. If they're not too late. If. The word that holds everything. That separates relief from devastation. That will define whether Colleen and Evan get their daughter back or spend the rest of their lives wondering what her last moments were like. The storage facility appears. Chain link fence. Yellow lights. Police cars blocking the entrance. Morrison pulls up. Gets out. The local chief approaches. He's in my car. Been asking for a lawyer for 20 minutes. Warrant's being processed now. Judge is signing it. Which unit? The chief points. Far corner. Away from main office. Away from foot traffic. Exactly where you'd put something you didn't want found. Morrison approaches Rourke's unit. Metal door. Padlock. No windows. No indication of what's inside. He waits. Minutes stretching. Every second feeling like an hour. His phone rings. The judge. Warrant approved. They're clear to enter. Bolt cutters appear. An officer cuts the lock. It falls to the ground. Metal clanging against concrete. Morrison pulls the door up. It rolls open. Revealing darkness inside. Flashlights cut through. Revealing shapes. Boxes. Shelves. A vehicle covered with a tarp. And in the back. A door. Interior door. With a lock on the outside. Morrison's heart pounds. He moves forward. Tries the handle. Locked. Bring the cutters. Another lock cut. Another door opening. Light spills into a small room. Windowless. Soundproofed. A mattress on the floor. Toys scattered. Small clothes folded in a corner. But no child. Morrison's chest tightens. They were right. This is where she was kept. Where Rourke held her. But she's not here now. Which means either she's somewhere else. Or she's gone in a way that ends this story in the worst possible way. He steps into the room. Sees details. A radio. Books. Evidence of life. Of someone living here. Someone small. On the mattress. A pink strap. Torn. Frayed. From a pair of overalls. Morrison picks it up. Knows exactly whose it is. Knows what it means. Tara was here. Alive. At least for some time. But where is she now? He exits the room. Approaches the police car where Rourke sits. Opens the door. Where is she? Rourke stares ahead. Silent. Where's Tara Burke? Nothing. You're already caught. We found the room. Found her things. Found proof you had her. Tell me where she is and this goes easier. Rourke finally speaks. Voice calm. Almost casual. I want my lawyer. Morrison's fists clench. Every instinct screaming to drag this man out. To make him talk. To force answers that might save a child's life. But he can't. Because rules matter. Because procedures exist for reasons. Because the moment he crosses that line, everything they've built falls apart. He walks away. Pulls his phone. Calls Colleen. She answers before the first ring ends. Did you find her? We found where she was. But she's not there now. We have Rourke. We're questioning him. But he's not talking. The silence on the other end is worse than screaming. Worse than crying. Just empty silence that holds every parent's nightmare. She was alive, Morrison continues. The room shows signs of recent use. She was there. Recently. Which means he moved her. He knew you were coming and he moved her. We're searching. Every property he's connected to. Every location. We will find her. Colleen doesn't respond. Just hangs up. Morrison stands in the parking lot. Watches forensics swarm the storage unit. Watches them document. Photograph. Collect evidence that will convict Rourke of a dozen crimes. But none of that matters if they can't find Tara. If they can't bring her home. The sun rises. Orange light spreading across the valley. Another day beginning. Another 24 hours of searching. Another span of time where a 2-year-old exists somewhere between lost and found. Morrison looks at that interior room one more time. At the space where Tara lived. Where she waited. Where she hoped her mother would come. And he makes a promise. Silently. To a child he's never met. To parents he's watched break apart. To himself. He will find her. No matter how long it takes. No matter how many dead ends. No matter how many times Rourke stays silent. He will find Tara Burke. Or die trying. When a locked room holds answers but not the child, where else has the predator prepared to hide what everyone's searching for? The courtroom smells like old wood and recycled air. Calvin Rourke sits at the defendant's table. Hands folded. Expression blank. His lawyer beside him. Whispering. Strategizing. Colleen sits in the gallery. Front row. Staring at the back of Rourke's head. Willing him to turn around. To look at her. To show something human underneath that empty calm. He doesn't. 2 weeks since they found the storage unit. 2 weeks since they arrested him. 2 weeks of interrogations that led nowhere. Rourke said nothing. Invoked his right to silence. Sat across from detectives while they showed him evidence. Photos. Tara's belongings. DNA results proving she'd been in that room. He just stared. Unmoved. Untouchable. The judge enters. Everyone rises. Then sits. The proceedings begin. Arraignment. Formal charges. Kidnapping. Child endangerment. Unlawful imprisonment. Not murder. Because they haven't found a body. Because hope, however thin, still exists. The prosecutor stands. Outlines the case. The evidence. The timeline. The van. The storage unit. The DNA. Rourke's lawyer counters. Circumstantial. No direct evidence. No witnesses placing his client with Tara. No proof beyond reasonable doubt. Back and forth. Legal arguments that reduce a child's life to technicalities. To whether evidence meets standards. To whether juries will convict. Colleen watches. Feels her hands curl into fists. Feels her jaw clench so tight her teeth might crack. This man took her daughter. Held her. Hit her. And now he sits there. Protected by lawyers and rights and systems designed to ensure fairness. Where was fairness when Tara was taken? Where were her rights? Where was the system that was supposed to protect her? The judge sets bail. $2 million. Rourke doesn't flinch. His lawyer argues for reduction. Claims his client isn't a flight risk. Has no prior convictions. Deserves consideration. The prosecutor objects. Cites the severity. The evidence. The fact that a child is still missing. The judge denies the reduction. Bail stands. Court adjourns. Rourke is led away. Hands cuffed. Orange jumpsuit. He walks past Colleen. 5 feet away. Close enough to touch. She stands. Moves toward him. An officer blocks her path. Where is she? Colleen's voice breaks. Please. Just tell me where my daughter is. Rourke stops. Turns. Looks at her for the first time. His eyes are empty. Not cruel. Not angry. Just empty. Like he's looking at an object. Not a person. Not a mother. Not someone whose life he destroyed. I'm sorry for your loss, he says. Quiet. Almost sincere. Then he's gone. Led through a door. Disappearing into the system. Colleen stands frozen. Those words echoing. Your loss. Past tense. Like Tara's already gone. Like he knows something they don't. Evan pulls her away. Out of the courtroom. Into the hallway. She collapses against him. He knows where she is. He knows and he won't tell us. He'll talk eventually. Morrison says. Morrison says a lot of things. And we're still no closer to finding her. They drive home. Through streets that look the same. Houses. Cars. People living normal lives. While theirs remained suspended. Frozen in the moment Tara vanished. At home, the answering machine blinks. 37 messages. Colleen presses play. Reporters. Media requests. Producers. All wanting access. Wanting her pain. Wanting her story. Delete. 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 One message stops her. Detective Morrison. Voice careful. Measured. Mrs. Burke, I need you to call me. We have a development. She calls back immediately. He answers. We finished analyzing Rourke's phone records. From before he ditched his cell. We found patterns. Calls to the same number. Repeated. Over several months. Whose number? We're still tracking it. But we think he had help. Someone else involved. Colleen's breath catches. You mean there's someone else? Someone who might know where Tara is? Possibly. We're investigating. I wanted you to know. After they hang up, Colleen tells Evan. Watches his face shift. From exhausted to something like hope. If there's someone else. Someone who wasn't there. Who doesn't have the same reason to stay quiet. They might talk. Colleen finishes. They might tell us where she is. For the first time in 2 weeks, something besides despair fills the space between them. Days pass. Morrison calls with updates. They traced the number. Belongs to a woman. Sharon Vance. 42. Rourke's former girlfriend. She lives 3 towns over. Works at a diner. Has a record. Minor drug charges. Nothing violent. Officers bring her in for questioning. She sits in the same interview room where witnesses sat weeks ago. Same table. Same fluorescent lights. Morrison enters. Sits across from her. You know why you're here? Sharon nods. Nervous. Picking at her nails. Calvin. I saw the news. How well do you know him? We dated. Few months. Ended back in spring. Why did it end? She hesitates. He got weird. Started talking about things that made me uncomfortable. What kind of things? About kids. About how people don't appreciate them. How they're wasted on parents who don't understand. Stuff like that. Morrison leans forward. Did he ever mention Tara Burke? Not by name. But he talked about a girl. Said he saw her at a store. Said she was perfect. Said her mother didn't deserve her. When was this? Couple weeks before they broke up. Maybe April? 2 months before Tara vanished. 2 months of planning. Watching. Waiting. Did he tell you he was going to take her? No. He just talked. I thought it was weird but not, I didn't think he'd actually do anything. Did you see him after the kidnapping? Sharon's hands shake. Once. He came by my apartment. Late. Maybe a week after. He needed to borrow my car. Did you give it to him? Silence. Sharon, a child's life depends on your answers. Did you give Calvin your car? Yes. Barely a whisper. He said his van broke down. Needed to pick something up. Would return it in a few hours. Did he? Yeah. Brought it back. Full tank. Clean. Like nothing happened. Where did he go? I don't know. Didn't ask. Didn't want to know. Morrison slides a photo across the table. Tara. Smiling. Birthday photo. This is who you helped hide. This little girl. 2 years old. Missing for 2 weeks. Because you gave Calvin a car and didn't ask questions. Sharon starts crying. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know what he was doing. But you suspected. You knew something was wrong and you didn't report it. I was scared. Calvin's not someone you say no to. Did he threaten you? Not directly. But the way he looked sometimes. Like he could do anything and not feel bad about it. Morrison lets her cry. Lets the guilt settle. Then asks the only question that matters. Where would he take her? If he needed to move her. Hide her. Where would Calvin go? Sharon wipes her eyes. Thinks. There's a place. His uncle's property. Out past Merced. Old hunting cabin. Middle of nowhere. Calvin used to talk about it. Said it was where he went when he needed to think. Address? I don't know exactly. But it's off Route 99. Near some lake. I remember because he showed me photos once. Morrison's already moving. Calling his team. Getting maps. Tracing properties. Looking for any land registered to Rourke family members. They find it. 18 acres. Registered to Marcus Rourke. Calvin's uncle. Died 3 years ago. Property passed to Calvin. Never sold. Taxes paid. Land maintained. And on it. A cabin. Remote. Isolated. Perfect for hiding something. Or someone. Morrison assembles a team. Tactical. Prepared for anything. They drive. Caravan of vehicles. Lights off. Moving fast. Colleen and Evan wait by the phone. Morrison promised to call. Said he'd let them know the moment they had information. The clock ticks. Minutes feeling like hours. Evan paces. Colleen sits. Motionless. Barely breathing. Her mind plays scenarios. Best case. Worst case. Everything between. They find Tara. Alive. Waiting. Running into her arms. They find Tara. But she's different. Changed. Traumatized. They find evidence. But not Tara. Not anymore. The phone rings. Colleen lunges for it. Hello? Morrison's voice. Careful. Controlled. We're at the location. Cabin is here. We're going in now. I'll call you back. Wait. He's already gone. Line dead. Colleen sets the phone down. Looks at Evan. They found it. They're searching now. They sit. Together. Hands clasped. Waiting for a call that will either restore their family or destroy what's left of it. At the cabin, Morrison approaches. Weapon drawn. Team flanking. The structure is small. Wood. Windows boarded. Door chained. They call out. No response. Bolt cutters again. Chain falls. Door kicked open. Interior dark. Flashlights sweep the space. One room. Empty. Dust. Abandoned furniture. Evidence someone was here. Recently. Food wrappers. Water bottles. But no child. Morrison's heart sinks. Another dead end. Another location searched. Another hope extinguished. Then an officer calls out. Here. There's a basement. Hidden door. Under a rug. Trapdoor leading down. Morrison pulls it open. Stairs descending into darkness. He goes first. Slow. Weapon ready. The basement is smaller. Colder. Concrete walls. And in the corner. A space. Set up like a child's room. Makeshift bed. Toys. Books. And sitting on the bed. Clutching a stuffed animal. A small girl. Brown hair. Uneven bangs. Tara Burke. She doesn't move when the light hits her. Doesn't cry. Doesn't react. Just sits. Frozen. Like she's not sure what's real anymore. Morrison lowers his weapon. Approaches slowly. Kneels. Tara? Your name is Tara. Your mom sent me. She wants you to come home. The girl stares. Silent. Eyes that have seen too much. That whole trauma no 2-year-old should carry. Morrison radios his team. We found her. She's alive. Get EMS here now. He turns back to Tara. Speaks softly. You're safe now. No one's going to hurt you. We're going to take you to your mom. Still no response. Just that blank stare. That emptiness that comes from months of isolation. Of fear. Of survival. An officer brings a blanket. Morrison wraps it around her. Lifts her gently. She doesn't resist. Doesn't cling. Just lets herself be carried. Like she's learned to accept whatever happens. Outside, EMS arrives. Paramedics check her. Dehydrated. Malnourished. But alive. Breathing. Functioning. No immediate life-threatening injuries. But the psychological damage. That will take years to understand. Years to address. Morrison calls Colleen. She answers before it rings. Did you find her? Yes. She's alive. She's safe. We're bringing her to regional medical. You can meet us there. The sound that comes through the phone is something Morrison has never heard before. Not a scream. Not a sob. Something primal. Relief and agony mixed into one inhuman noise. Then silence. Then Evan's voice. We're on our way. At the hospital, they wait in a private room. Colleen can't sit. Can't stand still. Just moves. Pacing. Hands shaking. Evan beside her. Equally wrecked. Equally desperate. The door opens. A doctor enters. Mr. and Mrs. Burke? Where is she? Where's Tara? She's stable. Being examined now. No major physical injuries. But she's been through significant trauma. She's not responding verbally. We need to assess. I want to see her. Now. The doctor hesitates. She may not recognize you. Trauma can cause. I don't care. I need to see my daughter. They're led down a hallway. To a room. Through a window they see her. Small body on a hospital bed. Machines beeping. Nurses moving around her. Tara lies still. Eyes open. Staring at nothing. Colleen pushes into the room. The nurses step aside. She approaches the bed. Slowly. Like Tara might disappear if she moves too fast. Baby? It's Mom. I'm here. I'm right here. Tara doesn't turn. Doesn't blink. Doesn't show any sign of recognition. Colleen reaches for her hand. Tara flinches. Pulls away. The movement breaks something in Colleen. She steps back. Tears streaming. She doesn't know me. She doesn't. Evan catches her. Holds her while she breaks. A nurse speaks quietly. It's common. After prolonged captivity. Especially in children this young. She'll need time. Therapy. Support. But she'll come back. Colleen's voice cracks. She'll remember us? With time. With help. Yes. But it won't be immediate. It won't be easy. Colleen returns to the bedside. Doesn't touch. Just stands there. Presence without pressure. And then she does something instinctive. Something that existed before words. Before trauma. Before everything that happened. She starts to hum. That lullaby. The one she sang every night. The one that soothed nightmares. The one that meant home. Her voice fills the room. Soft. Breaking. But continuous. For several seconds, nothing changes. Tara remains frozen. Disconnected. Then her fingers move. Just slightly. A small twitch. Like something deep down remembers. Colleen keeps humming. Keeps singing that familiar melody. Tara's head turns. Slowly. Toward the sound. Toward the voice. Her eyes focus. Land on Colleen's face. And something flickers. Recognition maybe. Or memory. Or just the ghost of safety she once knew. Her lips move. No sound comes out. But the shape is clear. Mom. Colleen's knees buckle. Evan catches her. They both move to the bed. Both reaching for their daughter. Tara doesn't pull away this time. Doesn't flinch. Just lets them touch her. Lets them hold her. And slowly, painfully slowly, she begins to cry. Not the scared cry of captivity. Not the silent cry of someone who learned noise brings danger. A real cry. A child's cry. Relief and confusion and trauma all pouring out. The nurses leave. Give them space. Give them this moment. 10 months. 10 months of searching. Of hoping. Of breaking apart and barely holding together. And now. Finally. Tara is back. Not the same. Never the same. But back. Alive. Safe. Home. When trauma steals recognition but a lullaby unlocks memory, how much of the child remains, and how much was lost in the locked room? The room smells like oil and concrete. Tara sits on a mattress that isn't hers. In a space too small. Too dark. Walls close enough to touch from the bed. She doesn't cry anymore. Crying brought nothing. No one came. No arms picked her up. No familiar voice soothed the fear. So she stopped. The man comes in twice a day. Morning and night. She's learned to recognize his footsteps. Heavy. Deliberate. The sound that means the door will open. He brings food. Soft things. Easy to eat. Crackers. Applesauce. Juice boxes. Sets them on the floor. Waits until she eats. Good girl, he says when she finishes. The same words each time. Like she's performed correctly. She doesn't look at him. Learned that too. Looking makes him stay longer. Makes him talk more. Makes him sit too close. When she keeps her eyes down, he leaves faster. He calls her something different now. Not her name. Not the sounds her mother made. Something else. Emma. Say it, he tells her. Say your name. She doesn't. Won't. Can't make herself form sounds that aren't true. He's patient. Always patient. Never yells. Never hits. Just waits. Repeats. Tries again. You'll remember eventually. You'll forget the other name. The wrong name. You'll understand this is better. She doesn't understand. Doesn't want to understand. Just wants the door to open and her mother to be there. But days pass. The door opens. Never the right person. At first, she counted. Tried to keep track. How many times the light came on. How many times she ate. How many times she slept. But numbers got confused. Mixed up. Lost meaning. Time became something else. Just before and after. Before the door opens. After it closes. He reads to her sometimes. Brings books. Sits in the corner. Turns pages. Speaks words she doesn't care about. Stories about animals. About children who have adventures. About families that exist in pictures but not here. Not in this room. She doesn't listen. Lets the sound wash over her. Background noise like the radio that plays at night. The radio bothers her. Always on. Always playing music or voices. Never off. She doesn't understand it's there to hide other sounds. To cover any noise she might make. To ensure no one outside hears anything wrong. He bathes her weekly. In a small tub. Warm water. Soap that smells like flowers. He's efficient. Clinical. Washes her hair. Dries her off. Dresses her in clean clothes that aren't hers. Pink still. Always pink. Like he knows that's what she wore before. Like he's trying to keep something familiar while changing everything else. The clothes never fit right. Too big or too small. Wrong fabric. Wrong feel. Not the overalls with the strap she used to hold. The strap that meant safety. That meant her mother was close. She looks for it sometimes. That strap. Thinks maybe it's here. Hidden. Waiting. It's not. Gone like everything else. Like her mother's voice. Like her father's laugh. Like home. Sometimes she dreams. Not good dreams. Confusing ones. Spaces that feel familiar but look wrong. Faces she should know but can't quite see. She wakes up unsure. What's real? What's memory? What's this room making her believe? He talks about her mother sometimes. The woman who didn't want her. Who left her. Who wasn't strong enough to keep her. She couldn't take care of you, he says. Soft. Like he's explaining something important. That's why you're here. That's why I had to help. Lies. She knows they're lies. Even at 2 years old. Even with language she's still learning. Something deep down knows. Her mother didn't leave her. Her mother would never leave her. But the man keeps saying it. Keeps repeating. Keeps building a story that doesn't match what she feels but might match what she'll remember if enough time passes. He shows her photos. Not real ones. Drawings. Sketches. A house. A yard. A swing set. This is where we'll go, he says. When it's safe. When people stop looking. We'll have a real home. You'll have your own room. Your own toys. Everything you need. She doesn't want those things. Doesn't want a home that isn't hers. Doesn't want a room in a place that isn't where she belongs. But she's 2. And 2-year-olds don't have power. Don't have choice. Don't have anything except what adults allow. So she sits. And eats. And sleeps. And waits for something to change. Weeks blur. Or maybe months. Time stops having shape. Stops having markers. She forgets words. The ones she was just learning. They slip away. Unused. Unnecessary. Replaced by silence. The man notices. You're being quiet. That's okay. You don't have to talk yet. When you're ready. But she's not going to be ready. Not for him. Not for this. Still, her voice gets smaller. Softer. Until it's almost gone. He brings new toys. Blocks. Dolls. A stuffed bear with button eyes. The bear bothers her. Reminds her of something. A different bear. One with missing fur. With a torn ear. With her smell on it. She pushes this bear away. Doesn't want a replacement. Wants the real thing. Wants what's hers. The man picks it up. Sets it beside her anyway. You'll like it eventually. Give it time. Everything is about time with him. About waiting. About patience. About believing that eventually she'll accept this. Accept him. Accept a life that was never meant to be hers. He's wrong. But he doesn't know that yet. Can't see that underneath the silence. Underneath the compliance. Underneath the empty stare. She's still there. Still Tara. Still remembering something even if the details are fading. One night, the routine changes. He comes in earlier than usual. Hurried. Worried. The calm is gone. He packs things. Throws items into bags. Moves faster than she's ever seen him move. We have to go, he says. Not to her. To himself. They're too close. We have to move. She doesn't understand. Doesn't know who they are. Doesn't know what close means. Just knows something is different. Something is wrong. He picks her up. First time he's carried her since the beginning. Since the day everything changed. She stiffens. Doesn't know how to react. Doesn't know if this is good or bad. He carries her out of the room. Through a door. Into another space. Bigger. Open. A storage facility. She sees the van. Cream-colored. Recognizes it from somewhere. From before. From a parking lot that feels like a dream now. He puts her in the back. No car seat. No safety. Just wrapped in blankets. Hidden from view. The van starts. Moves. She feels it. The motion. The turns. The acceleration. She's being taken somewhere else. Somewhere new. Somewhere further from whatever home used to mean. The van drives for hours. She can't see outside. Can't see where they're going. Just feels the movement. The changes in speed. The stops and starts. Eventually, it stops. Engine cuts off. Silence. The man opens the back. Looks at her. New place. Better place. You'll be safer here. Safer. The word means nothing. She's not safe. Hasn't been safe since a shopping cart became empty and a mother's voice became memory. He carries her again. Into a building. Downstairs. Into a basement that's colder than the last room. Darker. More isolated. This space has concrete walls. No windows. One bare bulb. A door that locks from the outside. He sets up the mattress. The toys. The books. Recreating the room. Building the same prison in a different location. Sleep now, he says. Tomorrow we start fresh. She lies down. Not because she wants to. Because there's nothing else to do. Nowhere else to go. He leaves. Door closes. Lock clicks. She's alone again. In a new space that feels exactly like the old space. Different walls. Same captivity. Above, in the world she can't see, people are searching. Police. Volunteers. Her parents. Following leads. Knocking on doors. Getting close. But not close enough. Not yet. Down here, in this basement, Tara exists in a space between found and forgotten. Between rescue and resignation. She closes her eyes. Tries to remember. Tries to hold on to something real. Something true. Something that proves she existed before this. That she belongs somewhere else. That she's not Emma. Never was Emma. Never will be. But memory is fragile in a 2-year-old mind. And with every day that passes, with every repetition of the wrong name, with every moment her mother's voice gets harder to recall, the truth gets fuzzier. Not gone. Not yet. But fading. Slipping. Dissolving into something that might someday feel like a dream she once had instead of a life she actually lived. The man upstairs believes time will erase her. That patience will rebuild her into what he wants. That isolation will make her forget everything that came before. He's wrong. But he's not entirely wrong. And that's the cruelest part. Because pieces of her are already changing. Already adapting. Already learning to survive in a world where survival means becoming someone else. And if the door doesn't open soon, if rescue doesn't come, if the searching stops before the finding, those pieces might become permanent. Might replace what was. Might make Tara Burke into a ghost. A missing poster. A cold case. A tragedy that joins all the other tragedies that never found their endings. But tonight, in this moment, in this basement, she's still here. Still fighting. Still holding on to a melody she can't quite remember but knows meant something. Still waiting for a voice that whispers beneath everything. Beneath the fear. Beneath the confusion. Beneath the wrong name and the wrong life and the wrong everything. Still waiting for her mother to come. How long can a child's memory survive in darkness, and what happens when the man who steals everything finally makes his first irreversible mistake? The fire marshal notices the insulation first. Too much of it. Layered thick along interior walls that shouldn't need that kind of modification. He's inspecting a storage facility 200 miles south of where Tara vanished. Routine check. Annual compliance. Nothing unusual expected. Except this. Why's this unit got soundproofing? He asks the manager. The manager shrugs. Don't know. Renter did it himself. Said he stored music equipment. Needed it quiet. Music equipment in a storage unit? People store weird things. I don't ask. The marshal moves closer. Runs his hand along the wall. Professional installation. Expensive materials. Not the kind of job someone does casually. Who rents this? The manager checks his clipboard. Guy named Rourke. Calvin Rourke. Paid 6 months up front. Cash. The name triggers something. The marshal pulls his phone. Searches recent news. Missing child. Suspect named Calvin Rourke. Cream-colored van. Storage facility. His pulse quickens. I need you to open this unit. Now. Can't do that without the renter's permission. Privacy laws. This is a safety inspection. I have authority. Open it. The manager hesitates. Then pulls keys. Walks to the unit. Unlocks it. The door rolls up. Interior dark. The marshal steps inside. Flashlight cutting through shadows. Standard storage items. Boxes. Furniture. Nothing unusual at first. Then he sees the interior door. Far back. Metal. Heavy-duty lock on the outside. What's behind that? Don't know. Wasn't there when he rented it. The marshal approaches. Tries the handle. Locked. He turns to the manager. Get bolt cutters. Now. While waiting, he calls the local police. Explains what he found. The name. The modifications. The locked interior door. Stay there, the dispatcher says. Units are on the way. 10 minutes later, 3 patrol cars arrive. Officers exit. The marshal shows them the setup. The soundproofing. The door. Cut it open, the senior officer says. Bolt cutters slice through the lock. It falls. The door swings open. The space inside is small. Maybe 8 by 10. A mattress on the floor. Toys scattered. Children's books stacked in a corner. A radio still playing softly. But no child. The officers search. Find small clothes. Food wrappers. Evidence someone lived here. Someone small. Recently. Call it in, the senior officer says. We need detectives. We need forensics. We need everyone. Within an hour, the facility swarms with investigators. Yellow tape goes up. Evidence markers placed. Cameras documenting everything. Detective Morrison arrives. He's been tracking Rourke for weeks. Following leads. Hitting dead ends. This is the first real break. He enters the room. Sees the setup. The care taken. The planning required. This wasn't improvised. This was prepared. Built specifically to hold someone. On the mattress, he finds it. A pink strap. Frayed. Torn. From a pair of overalls. He picks it up carefully. Bags it as evidence. Knows exactly whose it is. Knows what it means. Tara was here. Alive. At least for a while. Outside, officers question the manager. When did he last see Rourke? What was he driving? Any unusual activity? Saw him yesterday, the manager says. Late afternoon. He looked stressed. Kept checking his phone. Loaded some stuff into a different vehicle. What kind of vehicle? Sedan. Gray or silver? Didn't get a good look. You get a plate? No. Wasn't paying that close attention. Morrison joins them. Yesterday. That's less than 24 hours. He's moving her. Knows we're getting close. He pulls his team together. We need to find every property connected to Rourke. Every rental. Every address. He's relocating. Which means Tara's still alive. Still movable. Still somewhere we can reach. Officers fan out. Records searched. DMV checked. Utility bills traced. Looking for any location Rourke might use. They find the cabin. 18 acres. Off Route 99. Registered to Calvin's deceased uncle. Remote. Isolated. Perfect for hiding. Morrison assembles a tactical team. They gear up. Move out. Caravan heading south. No sirens, Morrison orders. We go in quiet. If he's there, we don't want him spooked. Don't want him doing something desperate. The drive takes 90 minutes. Tension building with every mile. This could be it. The location. The end. Or another empty room. Another day of searching. Another night Tara spends wherever Rourke has hidden her. The cabin appears. Set back from the road. Trees surrounding. No visible lights. No vehicles outside. The team parks a quarter-mile away. Approaches on foot. Weapons ready. Moving through darkness. Using night vision. They surround the structure. Take positions. Morrison gives the signal. Police. We have a warrant. Open the door. Silence. He signals again. The breaching team moves forward. Ram hits the door. Wood splinters. They pour inside. Sweeping rooms. Clearing corners. Calling out. Clear. 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 The cabin is empty. Recently occupied but currently vacant. Food on the counter. Still fresh. Coffee in the pot. Still warm. He was here, Morrison says. Recently. Maybe an hour ago. Maybe less. An officer calls out from the back. There's a basement. Morrison follows. Down narrow stairs. Into a space colder than the rest of the house. Concrete walls. One bare bulb. And in the corner. The same setup. Mattress. Toys. Books. And sitting on the mattress. Small. Silent. Wrapped in a blanket. A child. Brown hair. Uneven bangs. Hazel eyes that don't focus properly. Tara Burke. Morrison approaches slowly. Holsters his weapon. Kneels at a distance. Tara? My name is Detective Morrison. Your mom sent me. She wants you to come home. The child doesn't respond. Doesn't move. Just stares past him. Through him. At nothing. He tries again. You're safe now. No one's going to hurt you. We're here to help. Still nothing. Just that empty gaze. That learned helplessness. That survival mechanism that shut down everything to endure. Morrison radios for EMS. We found her. Alive. Need medical immediately. He stays with her. Talking softly. Not pushing. Just maintaining presence. Letting her adjust to new people. New voices. New reality. A female officer enters. Approaches gently. Hey sweetie. I'm Officer Daniels. Can I come sit with you? Tara's eyes shift. Land on the officer. Something flickers. Recognition maybe that this voice is softer. Less threatening. Daniels sits. Not too close. Leave space. You've been very brave. Very strong. Your mommy has been looking for you every single day. At the word mommy, Tara's fingers twitch. A small movement. But movement nonetheless. She never stopped searching, Daniels continues. Never stopped hoping. Never stopped loving you. Tara's lips part. No sound comes out. But her hand moves. Reaches for the blanket edge. Grips it the way she used to grip that overall strap. EMS arrives. Paramedics enter carefully. Quietly. Assessing without crowding. We need to take you to a doctor, one says. Just to make sure you're okay. Your mom will meet us there. They lift her gently. She doesn't resist. Doesn't fight. Just allows herself to be carried. Like she's learned that fighting changes nothing. Outside, she sees the sky for the first time in 10 months. Stars. Moon. Open space that isn't confined by walls. Her head turns. Taking it in. Processing stimuli she'd forgotten existed. The ambulance ride is quiet. Tara lies on the stretcher. Officer Daniels beside her. Holding her hand. Maintaining that connection. Morrison follows in his car. Makes the call to Colleen. She answers immediately. Did you find her? Yes. She's alive. On the way to regional medical. You can meet us there. The sound that comes through the phone is inhuman. Relief and agony mixed. Every emotion from 10 months of hell releasing at once. Is she hurt? Physically, she appears stable. But she's not speaking. Not responding much. She's been through something we can't fully understand yet. I don't care. I just need to see her. Need to know she's real. She's real. She's safe. And she's coming home. At the hospital, preparation happens fast. Private room. Child trauma specialists on standby. Protocols for reunification after prolonged captivity. Tara is examined. Vitals taken. Blood drawn. Tests run. She allows all of it. Passive. Compliant. Disconnected from her own body. Results come back. Dehydrated. Malnourished. But no major physical injuries. No signs of sexual abuse. No broken bones. No wounds requiring immediate intervention. The damage is deeper. Psychological. Emotional. The kind that doesn't show on X-rays but will echo for years. In the waiting room, Colleen and Evan sit. Unable to stay still. Unable to breathe properly. 10 months of searching. 10 months of not knowing. 10 months of worst-case scenarios playing on repeat. And now. Finally. An ending. Not the ending they feared. Not death. Not loss. Not forever. But not an easy ending either. Not a simple reunion. Not a return to normal. A doctor approaches. Mr. and Mrs. Burke? Your daughter is stable. You can see her now. But I need to prepare you. She's not the same child you remember. Trauma changes people. Changes children. She may not recognize you immediately. May not respond. May need time to adjust. I don't care, Colleen says. I just need to see her. They're led down a hallway. Through doors. To a room where their daughter lies in a hospital bed. Small body under white sheets. Machines beeping steadily. Colleen stops at the doorway. Suddenly terrified. What if Tara doesn't know her? What if 10 months erased everything? What if her daughter is here but also gone? Evan squeezes her hand. We do this together. They enter. Approach the bed. Tara's eyes are open. Staring at the ceiling. Not blinking. Not moving. Baby? Colleen's voice breaks. It's Mom. I'm here. I'm right here. No response. No acknowledgement. Nothing. Colleen reaches for Tara's hand. The moment her fingers touch, Tara flinches. Pulls away. A reaction learned. A defense mechanism. The movement shatters Colleen. She steps back. Tears streaming. She doesn't know me. She doesn't. Give her time, the doctor says softly. But time feels impossible. Time feels like asking the ocean to stop being wet. Evan tries. Tara, it's Dad. We've been looking for you. We never stopped. We're here now. We're going to take you home. Still nothing. Just that empty stare. That learned absence. That survival technique that shut down everything to endure. Colleen feels hopeless rising. But then something instinctive happens. Something that exists before trauma. Before captivity. Before everything. She starts to hum. That lullaby. The one she sang every night. The one that soothed nightmares. The one that meant safety and love and home. Her voice fills the room. Shaky. Breaking. but recognizable. For several seconds, nothing changes. Tara remains frozen. Disconnected. Then her fingers move. Just slightly. A twitch. An unconscious response to something familiar. Colleen keeps humming. Keeps singing. Keeps pouring everything she has into that melody. Tara's head turns. Slowly. Toward the sound. Toward the voice. Her eyes focus. Really focus. For the first time since they entered. She looks at Colleen. And something behind those eyes shifts. Some door unlocking. Some memory surfacing. Her lips move. No sound. But the shape is unmistakable. Mom. Colleen moves forward. Carefully. Reaches out again. This time Tara doesn't flinch. Doesn't pull away. Their hands connect. Tara's fingers curl around Colleen's. Holding. Gripping. Like she's afraid to let go. Then she's moving. Sitting up. Reaching. And Colleen is there. Catching her. Pulling her close. Holding her daughter for the first time in 10 months. Tara presses her face into Colleen's chest. And finally. After everything. After all of it. She cries. Real crying. Not silent. Not restrained. Full body sobs that release 10 months of terror and confusion and survival. Evan wraps around them both. Family reunited. Broken but breathing. Damaged but alive. The doctors give them space. The nurses step out. This moment belongs to them. To a family that was torn apart and somehow found its way back together. Outside the room, Morrison stands. Watching through the window. Seeing the reunion he's worked 10 months to make happen. His phone rings. The station. Rourke has been located. Different state. Different identity. But found. Arrested. In custody. Justice will come. Trials. Sentencing. Consequences. But that's for tomorrow. For the legal system. For the world outside this room. Tonight is about something simpler. Something more important. A mother holding her daughter. A father holding them both. A family learning how to be whole again. When a routine inspection cracks a case wide open, how many other locked rooms exist before someone finally notices the soundproofing? Tara doesn't speak for 3 days. The hospital keeps her for observation. Running tests. Monitoring vitals. Making sure 10 months of captivity didn't cause damage they can't see yet. Colleen never leaves. Sleeps in a chair beside the bed. Wakes every time Tara shifts. Every time she makes a sound. Terrified that if she looks away, her daughter will disappear again. Evan brings food. Clean clothes. Tries to convince Colleen to go home. To shower. To rest properly. She refuses. I left her once. I'm not doing it again. The words aren't fair. Aren't rational. But trauma doesn't care about fairness. Doesn't respond to logic. Tara eats when prompted. Small amounts. Slowly. Like she's forgotten how to trust food. How to trust anything offered by adult hands. She doesn't play with the toys they bring. Doesn't watch the television. Doesn't engage with anything beyond basic survival functions. Sleep. Eat. Exist. Nothing more. Child psychologists come. Specialists in trauma. In captivity. In helping young minds process what shouldn't have happened. Dr. Patricia Chen sits beside Tara's bed. Doesn't push. Doesn't ask questions. Just sits. Present. Available. Hi Tara. My name is Dr. Chen. I help kids who've been through scary things. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to do anything. I'm just here if you need me. Tara's eyes shift. Land on Dr. Chen. Register her presence but nothing more. Your mom and dad love you very much, Dr. Chen continues. They've been looking for you every single day. They're so happy you're back. Still no response. But Tara's hand moves. Finds Colleen's. Holds on. Progress. Small. Almost invisible. But real. On the fourth day, Tara says her first word since being found. Not mom. Not dad. Not help or scared or anything expected. Bear. Colleen is reading to her. A picture book. Trying to rebuild connection through familiar rhythms. Tara points at the page. At an illustration of a brown bear. And speaks. Bear. Colleen freezes. The word hanging between them. Proof that language still exists. That her daughter's voice still works. Yes, Colleen whispers. That's a bear. A big brown bear. Tara's finger stays on the page. My bear. Understanding crashes over Colleen. The stuffed animal. The worn one with missing fur. The one Tara slept with every night before everything changed. Your bear is at home, Colleen says. Waiting for you. We can get it as soon as you're ready. Tara nods. Small movement. But acknowledgement. Communication. A bridge forming between who she was and who she's becoming. Dr. Chen joins them later. Reviews the interaction. Explains what's happening. She's rebuilding language pathways. Testing safety. Seeing if using words brings danger. When it doesn't, she'll use more. How long? Evan asks. How long until she's back to normal? Dr. Chen's expression softens. Define normal. She'll recover. Children are remarkably resilient. But she won't be the same Tara who disappeared. That child experienced something traumatic. Changed her. She'll carry that forever. Forever? Colleen's voice cracks. She's 2 years old. She won't remember this. Won't remember him. She might not have conscious memories. But her body will remember. Her nervous system. Her responses to certain stimuli. Trauma lives in places memory can't reach. The words settle heavy. Uncomfortable. The realization that even though Tara is back, parts of her are still in that locked room. Still in that basement. Still with the man who renamed her and tried to erase who she was. Days pass. Tara speaks more. Short sentences. Basic needs. Hungry. Bathroom. Thirsty. But nothing about what happened. Nothing about the 10 months. Nothing about Calvin Rourke or locked rooms or being called Emma. Dr. Chen says that's normal. Expected. The mind protects itself. Walls off trauma until it's safe to process. Don't push, she advises. Let her lead. She'll talk when she's ready. If she's ever ready. Discharge day arrives. Tara is medically cleared. Physically stable. Ready to go home. Colleen dresses her in new clothes. Pink still. But proper fit. Soft fabric. Nothing restrictive. Nothing that might trigger memories of wrong clothes in wrong places. The drive home is quiet. Tara sits in her car seat. Stares out the window. Watching familiar streets appear. Recognizing nothing and everything at once. They pull into the driveway. The house looks the same. Nothing changed. Frozen in the moment they left for that auto parts store 10 months ago. Inside, Colleen leads Tara to her room. The space exactly as it was. Crib. Toys. Books. The bear sitting on the pillow. Waiting. Tara stops at the doorway. Doesn't enter. Just stares at the bear. "It's okay," Colleen says. "It's yours. It's been waiting for you." Tara takes one step. Then another. Approaches slowly. Like the bear might disappear if she moves too fast. She reaches out. Touches worn fur. Picks it up. Holds it against her chest. And for the first time since the hospital, she smiles. Tiny. Brief. But real. That night, bedtime becomes a test. Tara refuses the crib. Clings to Colleen. Won't let go. "I'll stay," Colleen promises. "Right here. I'm not leaving." She lies on the floor beside the crib. Holds Tara's hand through the bars. Hums that lullaby until small eyes finally close. But 3 hours later, screaming. Colleen bolts upright. Tara is standing in the crib. Eyes wide. Terrified. Not awake but not asleep either. Night terror. Dr. Chen warned about these manifestations of trauma. The mind processing what it can't handle while conscious. Colleen lifts her. Holds her. Rocks her. "You're safe. You're home. Mommy's here. Nothing's going to hurt you." The screaming continues. Tara fighting against arms that hold her. Against reality she can't distinguish from nightmare. Evan appears. Together they weather the storm. Holding their daughter while she fights invisible demons. Eventually, exhaustion wins. Tara collapses against Colleen. Breathing hard. Still asleep. Still trapped somewhere between here and there. This becomes the pattern. Days relatively calm. Nights filled with terrors. With screaming. With fighting against safety because safety became something she couldn't trust. Weeks pass. Therapy starts. 3 times a week. Play therapy. Art therapy. Methods designed for children too young to articulate trauma. Dr. Chen gives Tara dolls. A house. Figures representing family. "Show me a story," she says. "Any story you want." Tara plays. Builds scenarios. A girl doll separated from parent dolls. Locked in a small space. Darkness. Alone. Then rescue. The parent dolls finding the girl doll. Reunion. The same scene. Over and over. Different variations but same core narrative. Dr. Chen reports back to Colleen and Evan. She's processing. Working through it. This is healthy. Necessary. When does it end? Colleen asks. When does she stop reliving it? It doesn't end. It evolves. She'll carry this forever. But with help, with support, with love, she'll learn to carry it without it crushing her. Calvin Rourke's trial begins. The prosecution wants Colleen to testify. To face him. To tell her story. She refuses. "I'm not leaving Tara. Not for him. Not for anything." They don't push. They have enough. Evidence. Witnesses. DNA. Rourke's complete silence that somehow condemns him more than any confession could. The trial lasts 3 weeks. Every night, news reports update. Every night, Colleen turns off the television before Tara can see his face. Guilty. Every count. Kidnapping. False imprisonment. Child endangerment. Sentencing hearing 2 weeks later. Life in prison. No possibility of parole. The judge reads the sentence. Looks directly at Rourke. You stole 10 months from a child. 10 months from a family. You showed no remorse. No regret. No humanity. The law requires I sentence you. But if I could, I'd sentence you to feel what that child felt. Every day. Every moment. For the rest of your life. Rourke shows nothing. Same blank expression. Same empty eyes. Same complete absence of normal human emotion. He's led away. Disappearing into a system that will hold him until he dies. But his absence doesn't erase his impact. Doesn't undo what he did. Doesn't give Tara back the 10 months he stole. At home, life rebuilds. Slowly. Imperfectly. With setbacks and small victories. Tara starts speaking in full sentences. Laughing occasionally. Playing with toys. Engaging with life beyond basic survival. But triggers remain. Loud noises. Closed doors. Being left alone for even moments. Each one bringing back flashes of captivity. Of fear. Of powerlessness. Colleen and Evan adapt. Learn to recognize signs. Learn when to push and when to back off. Learn that healing isn't linear. That some days are better and some days crash without warning. 6 months after rescue, Tara speaks about it for the first time. They're in the kitchen. Colleen making lunch. Tara coloring at the table. Mommy? Her voice small. Uncertain. Yes, baby? The bad man. Is he coming back? Colleen's hands freeze. Knife halfway through a sandwich. She sets it down carefully. Turns to face her daughter. No. He's never coming back. He's in a place where he can't hurt anyone. He can't get to you. Ever. Promise? Promise. You're safe. You'll always be safe. I'll make sure of it. Tara nods. Returns to coloring. The conversation over as quickly as it started. But the question lingers. Proof that even at 3 years old now, even with therapy and time and safety, the fear remains. The knowledge that security can be shattered. That the world contains people who take children. That trust is fragile. Colleen reports the conversation to Dr. Chen. Is that normal? Is she going to spend her whole life afraid? She's going to spend her life aware. There's a difference. What happened taught her the world can be dangerous. She can't unlearn that. But she can learn that it can also be safe. That people can be trusted. That home means security. How do we teach that? You're already doing it. Every day you show up. Every night you hold her through nightmares. Every moment you choose her over everything else. That's how she learns. Through consistency. Through presence. Through love that doesn't quit. 1 year after rescue, they celebrate Tara's 3rd birthday. Small party. Just family. No crowds. No strangers. Nothing overwhelming. Tara blows out candles. Opens presents. Smiles more than she cries. More than she withdraws. Progress. Visible. Real. That night, after guests leave, Tara climbs into Colleen's lap. Mommy sang, she says. What's that, baby? When I was in the dark place. I heard Mommy singing. That's how I knew you were looking. Colleen's breath catches. That lullaby. The one she hummed constantly during those 10 months. At home. In the car. In Tara's empty room. Singing to darkness, hoping somehow her daughter could hear. And maybe she did. Maybe somehow across distance and captivity and everything that separated them, that melody reached. Connected. Reminded Tara she was loved. She was searched for. She wasn't forgotten. I never stopped singing, Colleen whispers. Never stopped looking. Never stopped loving you. Tara nestles closer. I know. 2 words. But they carry everything. Acknowledgement. Understanding. The beginning of trust rebuilding. Outside, the world continues. Other families face other tragedies. Other children go missing. Other stories end differently. But in this house, in this moment, one family that was shattered found a way to piece itself back together. Not perfectly. Not completely. Not without scars. But together. Alive. Surviving. And sometimes, surviving is the miracle. When memory fractures but a melody survives, how does a mother teach her daughter that the world can be safe again when both of them know it isn't? Chapter 9. The courtroom is packed. Media fills the back rows. Sketch artists positioned strategically. Cameras waiting outside for the moment verdict is read. Calvin Rourke sits at the defense table. Same blank expression. Same empty eyes. Same complete absence of normal human emotion that made him so effective at hiding in plain sight. His lawyer sits beside him. Public defender. Young. Overwhelmed. Handed a case no one could win because the evidence is insurmountable. The prosecution team is efficient. Methodical. They present their case piece by piece. Building a narrative impossible to deny. The van. DNA evidence proving Tara was inside. Hair samples. Fiber matches. The storage unit. The locked room. The soundproofing. The toys. The clothes. All sized for a toddler. All matching descriptions of items Tara owned. The cabin. The basement. The space where she was found. More DNA. More proof. More evidence that Rourke planned everything. Witnesses testify. The fire marshal who discovered the modifications. The store manager who sold Rourke rope and duct tape. The community center coordinator who let him volunteer with children. Sharon Vance takes the stand. Rourke's former girlfriend. She speaks quietly. Shamefully. About the night he borrowed her car. About not asking questions. About choosing ignorance over responsibility. I knew something was wrong, she admits. I knew and I didn't say anything. A child suffered because I was scared. The jury watches. Listens. Sees the pattern form. Sees how one man moved through the world taking advantage of people who trusted too easily. Who assumed kindness instead of verifying it. The defense tries. They argue reasonable doubt. Circumstantial evidence. They claim no one actually saw Rourke take Tara. That being in possession of evidence doesn't prove the act itself. The prosecution counters. Shows the timeline. Rourke's van at the plaza. His storage unit prepared weeks before. His cabin stocked with supplies. His complete disappearance from normal life the day after Tara vanished. They present phone records. Computer searches. Evidence Rourke researched child abduction. Studied cases. Learned from others' mistakes. This wasn't impulse. Wasn't opportunity. This was planning. Preparation. Predation. Expert witnesses testify about Tara's condition when found. The malnutrition. The psychological damage. The learned behaviors of someone held captive. Dr. Chen takes the stand. Explains trauma responses in young children. Describes Tara's therapy. Her slow progress. Her continued struggles. This child will carry what happened for the rest of her life, Dr. Chen states. She'll fear locked doors. Distrust easily. Struggle with attachment. Because one man decided she was something he could take. The defense objects. Speculation about future impact isn't relevant to. The judge overrules. The impact on the victim is absolutely relevant. Continue. Detective Morrison testifies. Walks through the investigation. The dead ends. The frustration. The moment they found the storage unit and knew they were close. Calvin Rourke is intelligent, Morrison says. He planned carefully. Covered his tracks. Moved when we got close. If not for a routine fire inspection, we might never have found her. In your professional opinion, the prosecutor asks, did the defendant intend to eventually release Tara Burke? Morrison's jaw tightens. No. His modifications. His preparations. The remote locations. Everything indicates long-term captivity. He wasn't planning to let her go. The defense objects again. Speculation. It's not speculation, Morrison responds. It's analysis based on 20 years of investigating these cases. Rourke wasn't building temporary holding spaces. He was building prisons. The jury shifts. Uncomfortable. Confronting the reality of what they're deciding. Colleen watches from the gallery. Hasn't missed a day. Needs to see this through. Needs to watch Rourke face consequences even if he never shows remorse. Evan sits beside her. Hand clasping hers. Both of them processing the clinical recitation of their nightmare. Hearing their daughter's trauma described in legal terms. In evidence. In facts that strip away the emotional truth of what they lived. The prosecution rests. The defense presents their case. It's thin. Built on technicalities. On arguing that evidence isn't the same as proof beyond reasonable doubt. They call no witnesses. Rourke doesn't testify. His lawyer advises silence. Knows anything Rourke says will only make it worse. Closing arguments come. The prosecutor stands. Faces the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is straightforward. A child was taken. Held for 10 months. Found in a location controlled by the defendant. The evidence is overwhelming. The DNA doesn't lie. The timeline doesn't lie. The defendant's own actions don't lie. He pauses. Lets it settle. Calvin Rourke studied how to take a child. He prepared spaces to hide her. He changed her name. Cut her hair. Tried to erase who she was. And when we got close, he moved her. Not to release her. Not to do the right thing. To keep her. To maintain control. To continue his crime. Another pause. The defense will argue doubt. Will point to gaps in testimony. To moments we can't prove with absolute certainty. But the law doesn't require absolute certainty. It requires proof beyond reasonable doubt. And when you look at all the evidence together, there is no doubt. Calvin Rourke kidnapped Tara Burke. Held her captive. Caused her trauma she'll carry forever. The only question is whether you'll hold him accountable. The defense stands. Younger. Less experienced. But trying. The prosecution wants you to convict based on circumstantial evidence. On assumptions. On connecting dots that might not connect. Yes, my client owned the van. Yes, he rented the storage unit. Yes, he had access to the cabin. But none of that proves he took Tara Burke. He walks toward the jury. Proof requires certainty. Requires seeing the act. Having witnesses. Having confession. We have none of that. We have evidence my client was in proximity. Evidence he made questionable choices. But proximity isn't crime. Poor judgment isn't kidnapping. The prosecution is asking you to fill gaps with assumption. To convict because it seems likely. But, seems likely, isn't justice. The jury deliberates. 3 days. Long enough that people start worrying. Start wondering if maybe reasonable doubt exists after all. Colleen can't eat. Can't sleep. Paces their hotel room while waiting for word. What if they don't convict, she asks Evan. What if he walks? He won't. The evidence is too strong. You don't know that. Juries are unpredictable. What if one person doesn't believe? What if? The phone rings. The prosecutor. Jury's back. Verdict in 30 minutes. They rush to the courthouse. Take their seats. Watch Rourke let in. Watch the jury file into the box. The judge enters. Everyone rises. Sits. The formality of justice playing out. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreman stands. We have, Your Honor. On the charge of kidnapping, how do you find? Guilty. The word lands. Solid. Final. Colleen's body releases tension she's held for a year. Evan grips her hand tighter. Around them, quiet murmurs. Relief. Vindication. On the charge of false imprisonment? Guilty. On the charge of child endangerment? Guilty. Every count. Every charge. Guilty. 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 Rourke shows nothing. No reaction. No surprise. Just sits there while his life is sentenced. The judge thanks the jury. Dismisses them. Sets sentencing for 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks crawl. Victim impact statements prepared. Letters written. People who want Rourke to understand the damage he caused even though understanding seems beyond him. Colleen writes hers. 5 pages. Single-spaced. Everything she's held back. Everything she's felt. Everything she wants Rourke to know. Sentencing day arrives. The courtroom even more packed. Everyone wanting to see justice completed. The judge reads through the findings. The evidence. The verdict. Then asks if anyone wants to speak before sentence is imposed. Colleen stands. Walks to the podium. Faces Rourke directly. He doesn't look at her. Keeps his eyes forward. Empty as always. She reads her statement. Voice shaking but strong. You took my daughter. For 10 months, I didn't know if she was alive. If she was suffering. If I'd ever see her again. You made those choices. You planned. You prepared. You executed. And even now, you show nothing. No remorse. No regret. No recognition of the pain you caused. Her hands grip the paper. But here's what you need to know. You didn't win. You didn't erase her. You tried. You renamed her. Changed her appearance. Isolated her. But she's still Tara. Still my daughter. Still here. You failed. She looks at the judge. I don't know if this man is capable of understanding what he did. If he'll ever feel guilt. Ever wish he'd made different choices. But I know this. He can't hurt anyone else. Can't take another child. Can't destroy another family. And that's all I can ask for. That's all the justice we can get. She sits. Evan wraps his arm around her. Holds her while she breaks quietly. The judge speaks. Mr. Rourke, you've been found guilty of heinous crimes. Crimes against a child. Against a family. Against basic human decency. The law gives me discretion in sentencing. But in this case, there is no discretion needed. He leans forward. For the kidnapping of Tara Burke, I sentence you to life in prison without possibility of parole. For false imprisonment, 25 years to run consecutively. For child endangerment, 15 years to run consecutively. You will spend the rest of your natural life behind bars. You will never again have the opportunity to harm a child. Never again have freedom. Never again have control over anyone. He pauses. And if I could sentence you to feel what that child felt, the fear, the isolation, the trauma, I would. But I can't. All I can do is ensure you never have the chance to inflict it again. The gavel falls. Rourke is led away. Hands cuffed. Orange jumpsuit. Walking toward a life measured in concrete and bars and monitored minutes. Outside the courthouse, media swarms. Questions shouted. Microphones thrust forward. Morrison intercepts them. Gives a brief statement. Justice was served today. A dangerous predator has been removed from society. But our focus remains on Tara Burke and her family. They've been through unimaginable trauma. They deserve privacy. They deserve the space to heal. He refuses further questions. Guides Colleen and Evan to their car. Away from cameras. Away from people who want to turn their pain into content. In the car, driving away, Colleen finally speaks. It's over. It's over, Evan confirms. But they both know that's not entirely true. The legal case is over. Rourke is sentenced. That chapter closed. But the other chapter, the one about healing, about recovery, about learning to live after trauma, that chapter continues. Will continue for years. Maybe forever. They drive home. To where Tara waits with Colleen's mother. To where normal life attempts to exist despite everything that happened. Tara runs to greet them. 3 years old now. Bigger. Stronger. But still carrying the weight of what she survived. Bad man gone, she asks. Because she understands in the way children understand. That something finished today. Some thread ended. Bad man's gone, Colleen confirms. Forever. He can never hurt anyone again. Tara nods. Satisfied. Returns to her toys. Her world where justice is simple. Where gone means gone. Where endings are real. That night, Colleen sits in Tara's room. Watching her sleep. Studying her face. Seeing both the baby she was and the person she's becoming. The nightmares still come. Less frequently now but still present. Still pulling Tara back to locked rooms and darkness and fear. But they come less. Last shorter. Release easier. Progress. Slow. Imperfect. But real. Colleen hums that lullaby. The one that connected them across distance. The one that proved love survives even when everything else fractures. Tara shifts. Settles. Continues sleeping. And for tonight, that's enough. That's everything. Because tomorrow will bring new challenges. New triggers. New moments of healing and regression. But tomorrow will also bring laughter. Play. Small joys that prove life continues despite trauma. That families can rebuild. That love endures. Rourke is sentenced. Justice served. Case closed. But the real story, the one about survival, about resilience, about a family that refused to break even when everything tried to shatter them, that story continues. And it will continue long after media attention fades. Long after the world moves on to next tragedy. Long after everyone else forgets. Because for Colleen and Evan and Tara, this isn't a story. It's their life. Their reality. Their journey forward. And they'll walk it together. One day at a time. One moment at a time. One lullaby at a time. Until the day comes when locked doors don't trigger panic. When darkness doesn't bring fear. When Tara can exist fully in the present without the past reaching back to pull her under. That day will come. Maybe not soon. Maybe not easily. But it will come. And when it does, they'll know that even though evil exists, even though predators hide in plain sight, even though children can be taken, good exists too. Love exists. Family exists. Survival exists. And sometimes, against all odds, the missing come home. What price does justice carry when a verdict locks a predator away but can't unlock the doors still closing in a child's mind? 5 years after rescue, Tara starts first grade. Colleen stands at the school entrance, watching her daughter walk toward the building. Pink backpack. New shoes. Hair and pigtails that finally stay in place. She looks like any other 6-year-old. Excited. Nervous. Ready to begin. But Colleen knows better. Knows the work it took to reach this moment. The therapy sessions. The medication trials. The sleepless nights. The setbacks. The small victories. Tara turns. Waves. Smiles. Then disappears through the doors. Colleen drives home. The house quiet without Tara's presence. She sits at the kitchen table. Drinks coffee. Allows herself to feel what she suppressed since waking. Fear. What if today triggers something? What if being in an enclosed classroom with a closed door brings back memories? What if Tara panics and can't explain why? But also hope. That maybe this is the beginning of normal. Of a childhood not defined entirely by trauma. Of a future not limited by the past. The phone rings. Dr. Chen. Monthly check-in. How's she doing? The therapist asks. Today's her first day of school. I'm terrified. That's normal. But remember how far she's come. She can communicate now. She knows coping strategies. She's not alone like she was then. What if it's too much? What if? Then she'll tell you. And you'll adjust. That's what you've always done. That's what makes her recovery possible. After the call, Colleen cleans. Organizes. Keeps busy until pickup time. When she arrives at school, Tara bounces out. Excited. Talking fast about her teacher and new friends and the playground. No panic. No triggers. Just a normal first day of school. That night, Evan comes home early. They celebrate. Small cake. Candles. Making a milestone into a memory. Did you like school? Evan asks. It was fun, Tara says. But my teacher locks the classroom door. I don't like that. The words land. Reminder that healing isn't linear. That normal situations carry weight others don't understand. Did you tell her? Colleen asks gently. Tara nods. I said I need to see the door. She moved my desk. Now I can see it. It's better. Pride swells. That Tara can articulate needs. Can advocate for herself. Can navigate the world despite what happened. Time passes. First grade becomes second. Second becomes third. Tara grows. Changes. Becomes more of who she's meant to be. The nightmares decrease. Once a week. Once a month. Eventually only during stress or change. She makes friends. Has sleepovers. Joins soccer. Lives a childhood that trauma tried to steal. But reminders remain. Anniversary dates bring regression. News stories about missing children trigger anxiety. Locked doors still require visible exits. Dr. Chen continues therapy. Less frequently now. Monthly instead of weekly. But consistently. Maintaining support even as need decreases. She's doing remarkably well, Dr. Chen tells Colleen during a parent session. Most children who experience prolonged captivity struggle significantly longer. Tara's resilience is exceptional. Is it resilience? Or is it just her personality? It's both. Her inherent temperament helped. But resilience is also built. Through your consistency. Your presence. Your refusal to let trauma define her completely. By age 10, Tara asks to hear the story. The real story. What happened? Colleen and Evan discuss it. Consult Dr. Chen. Decide she's ready for truth told age-appropriately. They sit together. The three of them. And Colleen tells it. The shopping cart. The disappearance. The search. The finding. The healing. Tara listens. Quiet. Processing. Then asks, "Do you remember being angry at me? For getting taken?" The question breaks Colleen's heart. Never. Not once. Not ever. What happened wasn't your fault. It was never your fault. But you left me in the cart. People say. People say a lot of things. People judge situations they weren't in. People forget that predators don't take children because parents make mistakes. They take them because they're predators. What happened was his choice. His action. His crime. Not yours. Not mine. His. Tara nods. Processes. Then asks the harder question. Do I have to forgive him? Evan answers this one. No. You don't owe him anything. Not forgiveness. Not understanding. Not even thought. What you owe is yourself. Your healing. Your happiness. Your life lived fully despite what he tried to take. Later, Tara writes about it. School assignment. Something difficult you overcame. She writes simply. Factually. When I was 2, a bad man took me. I was gone for 10 months. Police found me. Now I'm here. It was hard. It's still hard sometimes. But I'm okay. The teacher calls. Concerned. Wants to discuss if Tara needs counseling referral. She has counseling, Colleen explains. Has had for 8 years. This is part of her healing. Owning her story. Not hiding it. The teacher apologizes. Didn't know. Didn't mean to overstep. It's okay, Colleen says. Most people don't understand. That's not their fault. But it's important Tara can speak her truth without people treating her like she's broken. Because that's what healing looks like. Not erasing the past. Not pretending it didn't happen. But integrating it. Making it part of the story without letting it be the whole story. By middle school, Tara volunteers. At a center for missing and exploited children. Stuffing envelopes. Organizing awareness events. Using her experience to help others. Does it bother you? Colleen asks. Being around those cases? Sometimes, Tara admits. But I want people to know recovery is possible. That being found isn't the end. That life continues after. She speaks at an event. 12 years old. Standing at a podium. Telling her story to a room full of advocates and survivors and families still searching. I was taken when I was 2, she says. Voice steady. I don't remember everything. But I remember enough. I remember being scared. Being alone. Being changed into someone I wasn't. She pauses. Breathes. But I also remember being found. Remember my mom's voice. Remember coming home. And I want every family here to know that hope matters. That searching matters. That not giving up matters. Because I'm here because people didn't give up. The room stands. Applauds. People crying. People who understand the weight of those words. The rarity of that ending. After, a mother approaches. Her son has been missing 3 years. She's losing hope. How did your parents keep going? She asks Tara. Tara thinks. Then answers honestly. They didn't always. Some days they fell apart. But they got back up. They kept searching. They kept believing even when it felt impossible. Not because they knew I'd be found. But because giving up meant accepting a world where I didn't come home. And they refused to accept that world. The woman nods. Wipes tears. Holds on to those words like a lifeline. Years continue passing. High school. Dating. College applications. Normal milestones that once seemed impossible. Tara thrives. Not despite what happened. Not because of what happened. Just thrives. Because she's more than her trauma. More than her survival. More than the story that defined her childhood. She studies psychology. Wants to help others. Wants to understand the mind that helped her endure. Wants to give back what Dr. Chen gave her. During college, she meets someone. Jordan. Kind. Patient. Understanding when she needs space. When doors need to stay open. When certain situations require adaptation. They marry young. 23. Small ceremony. Family and close friends. Evan walks her down the aisle. Colleen cries through the entire event. At the reception, Tara dances with her father. He holds her like she's still small. Still fragile. Still the toddler who vanished. I'm proud of you, he whispers. So proud of who you've become. I couldn't have done it without you. Without Mom. Without both of you refusing to let me disappear. Years later, Tara becomes a mother herself. A daughter. Small. Perfect. Whole world ahead of her. In the hospital, holding her newborn, Era finally understands. The depth of her parents' fear. The magnitude of their loss. The miracle of their reunion. I can't imagine, she tells Colleen. Can't imagine what you felt. What you went through. Colleen smiles. Touches her granddaughter's tiny hand. You survived. That's what I focus on. Not what we lost. What we gained back. 25 years after rescue, Tara writes a book. Her story. Her healing. Her message. It's titled, Found, A Survivor's Journey Beyond Captivity. The dedication reads, to my parents, who never stopped searching. To Dr. Chen, who taught me to heal. To Detective Morrison, who brought me home. And to every family still searching, hold on. Hope matters. The book releases. Becomes required reading in law enforcement training. In victim advocacy programs. In psychology courses. Because it's not just about abduction. It's about trauma. Recovery. Resilience. The human capacity to endure and eventually thrive. Tara does interviews. Speaks at conferences. Becomes a voice for survivors. For families. For the belief that even in darkest circumstances, light can return. People ask if she's angry. If she thinks about Rourke. If she wishes things were different. Her answer evolves over years but settles into truth. I'm not angry anymore. Anger served a purpose once. Helped me process. Helped me understand that what happened wasn't okay. But holding on to it forever would mean he still controls me. Still defines me. And I refuse that. Do I think about him? Sometimes. Usually when I'm helping another survivor. When I see how evil operates. But he's not central to my thoughts. He's not central to my life. Do I wish things were different? Of course. I wish no child ever experienced what I did. I wish no family ever faced that nightmare. But I can't change the past. I can only impact the future. And that's what I choose to do. Now, in her late 30s, Tara lives fully. Works as a trauma therapist. Specializes in childhood abduction survivors. Helps others walk the path she walked. She has 2 children. Both thriving. Both knowing their mother's story. Both learning that trauma doesn't define people. That survival is possible. That love endures. Colleen is 70 now. Health failing. But she's seen her daughter grow. Heal. Thrive. Has seen grandchildren born. Has witnessed the miracle of continuation despite interruption. On her final day, Tara sits beside her bed. Holds her hand. Hums that lullaby. The one that connected them across captivity. The one that proved love survives even when everything else breaks. Colleen opens her eyes. Smiles. You're here. Always. I'm always here. I never gave up. Never stopped believing. I know, Mama. I know. That's why I'm here. That's why we're all here. Colleen closes her eyes. Peaceful. Complete. Her mission accomplished. Her daughter saved. Her family whole. She passes quietly. Tara beside her. Evan holding her other hand. Their journey together ending where it began. In love. In connection. In refusal to let darkness win. At the funeral, Tara speaks. Tells their story one more time. Not about abduction. Not about trauma. About love. About persistence. About a mother who never stopped searching. Never stopped singing. Never stopped believing her daughter would come home. She taught me, Tara says, that hope isn't naive. That fighting is worth it. That love matters more than fear. And because she believed that, because she lived that, I'm here. We're all here. Living proof that even when the world shatters, it can be rebuilt. The service ends. People leave. Life continues. Because that's the real lesson. The true message. The hope that sustains. Evil exists. Predators hide among us. Children can be taken. Families can be destroyed. But love exists too. Resilience exists. Recovery exists. Hope exists. And sometimes, not always, not often enough, but sometimes, the missing come home. They come home changed. Damaged. Carrying trauma they'll process for life. But they come home. And that possibility. That hope. That chance. That's what keeps families searching. Keeps communities vigilant. Keeps society fighting for children who can't fight for themselves. Tara Burke was taken at 2 years old. Held for 10 months. Found alive. Brought home. Her story could have ended in tragedy. In permanent loss. In a cold case file gathering dust. Instead, it ended in survival. In healing. In life lived fully despite interruption. Not because she was special. Not because her family was lucky. But because people didn't give up. Because systems worked when they needed to. Because hope translated into action. And that's the message. The takeaway. The reason this story matters. Not that bad things happen. We know that. But that recovery is possible. That families can heal. That trauma doesn't have to be the final word. Tara is 40 now. Her children are teenagers. She still practices therapy. Still helps survivors. Still believes healing is possible. Some nights, she still has dreams. Locked rooms. Closed doors. Darkness without end. But she wakes up in her own bed. In her own home. Surrounded by family. By love. By safety. And she remembers. She was taken. But not erased. She was lost. But then found. She was broken. But then healed. And she survived. Not just survived. Lived. Thrived. Became more than her trauma ever intended to allow. That's the miracle. That's the hope. That's the message to every family still searching. To every survivor still healing. To every person who believes darkness is permanent. It's not. Light returns. Eventually. Imperfectly. But it returns. And when it does, life continues. Love endures. Hope survives. Always. Thank you for watching this journey with us on Cold Trail Cases. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story of survival, hope, and justice. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. These stories matter. These families matter. And your support helps us continue bringing light to cases that deserve to be remembered. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and never stop believing that even in the darkest moments, hope can survive.